Welcome to the Zaxby's pregame show.
Welcome everybody here to the Zaxby's pregame show in Cameron, North Carolina, as we're watching your Union Pines Vikings take on the Western Harnett Eagles. Don, it's a pleasure to be here today.
Yes, sir.
I always love coming down to Cameron, North Carolina. This is one of my favorite stadiums in the entire state, and I've gotten to see a lot of them. You're kind of in the bowl. You've got the big pine trees up above. They've always got a great band, great fan base. Absolutely thrilled to be here tonight with y'all, Don.
Yes, sir, Nate. I'm so excited to call this game with you tonight. We have Western Harnett visiting tonight against undefeated Union Pines. Union Pines is 77-0 in points for, and so they have absolutely dominated both teams. They've played Triton and Northwood in the first two games of the season. So tonight is their third non-conference game, and we'll see exactly how they line up against Western Harnett, but I don't think it's going to be too difficult looking at Western Harnett coming in from Harnett County 0-2 on the season. But this is the NFHS Game of the Week brought to you by Legacy Construction, both residential and commercial.
Awesome. So Western Harnett, I got to watch Western Harnett Southern League Week 1. We broadcasted that game. And Western Harnett is a team, you're going to see them run the ball all night. They've got some big studs up front. They haven't quite been able to get their offense clicking yet. They had a pretty good defensive stand against Southern Lee early, and then it kind of faded away. Western Harnett for the night, or for the season so far, they have thrown 2 passes. Wow. So they are 1 for 2. So definitely expect them to run the ball pretty good. Their running back, number 25, Savion James, is toting the majority of the rock. He has 217 yards on the season. And for reference there, they've only had 219 yards of total offense.
Well, Union Pines is no stranger to having an opponent that runs the ball often. Northwood last week, Nate, ran the ball with every single play except for 2, so very similar to Western Harnett. So Union Pines kept them scoreless out of the end zone. So will be interesting to see tonight if Western Harnett decides to change it up a little bit, given that they're 0-2. Maybe they might air it out a little bit. So we'll see. But either way, it's going to be an interesting game. What Union Pines has got to do is they've got to clean up their penalties. They've really played very well on both sides of the ball. However, they have averaged about 8 penalties a game. A lot of those are holding penalties, negating well into the 3 figures in the yard range. So they need to clean that up, and I think Coach Brian Till has worked all week on trying to clean that up a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out and try to play as mistake-free football as they can.
Right. So, Don, we talked earlier. I was in the barbershop this week. As you can tell, I got my head buzzed like I was not intending to. And the talks were starting to go about head coach Brian Till and Union Pines. I think it's been a long time since they've started 2-0, hoping to go 3-0 tonight here. Really, really important as far as playoffs are concerned as going into the 3A, 4A split conference. You've got some real juggernauts in that conference that, I'm not going to say we know that they're going to drop to, but you're going to have a couple L's on that schedule because everyone just beats up on each other through the conference play. So getting in 3-0, hopefully 4-0 going through non-conference, they really need 6 to 7 wins to make the playoffs this year with the way the playoffs are being formatted. So, we really want to go ahead and get as many of those possible non-con going into conference play. So tell us a little bit here about, because I haven't watched the Vikings yet, really excited to tonight. Tell us, we were talking earlier, they've got some senior leaders, so talk to us a little bit about them, and then talk to us about some of the young guys that you see coming up.
Absolutely. So first you have to start with the quarterback, Anthony Goswick, and he has played exceptionally well this season so far. He's both in pass completions as well as actually scrambling and making really wise decisions is Anthony, so we're very proud of him. Harley Moyer is coming in as a wide receiver, playing exceptionally well. We'll talk all throughout the night of their upperclassmen, but they also have some sophomores that are coming up that are making a big difference this year already. So we'll talk about that more during the game. This has been your Remax pregame show, and so what we're going to do, or Zaxby's pregame show, sorry, Remax is going to be our halftime show.
That's right.
Yeah, so Zaxby's pregame. So they're getting ready to do the national anthem, folks. So what we're going to do is take a quick break, Nate, and then we'll be right back with kickoff.
Legacy Commercial and Residential Construction. From concept to design, constructed to fit your lifestyle. We use only top quality finishes to make our house your home. Legacy Commercial and Residential Construction. The Sandhills residential and commercial builder of choice. Legacy Commercial and Residential Construction welcomes you to the NFHS Network's Game of the Week. Brought to you by New Image Media.
Welcome back to Cameron, North Carolina. Watching Union Pines Vikings take on the Western Harnett Eagles. Your Union Pines Vikings taking the field left to right of your screen, coming through a tunnel, coming through a band, coming through smoke, coming through flags. This is the coolest atmosphere in North Carolina tonight.
I agree. I love the atmosphere here in Cameron, North Carolina with Union Pines Vikings. They always have a great fan base, Nate, regardless of the record. But luckily for the Vikings and their fan base, they come in tonight undefeated, 2-0, rocking an undefeated start and blasting Triton 42-0, which beat them last year, and blasting Northwood 35-0, which beat them last year. So they are on a path of revenge. We talked about in the Zaxby's pregame, Nate, a little bit about making the playoffs this year. And I know it's early, of course. It's early September. I got it. But you set the measuring tape for making a playoff in the SAC division, and you said about 6 wins. We know what it looks like because Southern Lee did it last year.
Correct.
Unexpectedly so, got in, squeaked in with a win at the Brick City Bowl Classic on Brian McCullum's walk-off field goal to win that game. Gave them 6 wins on the season. They ended up going to Fike, putting up a good fight there, I must say. Right. Kristen Lambert and myself were there calling the game. But Union Pines tonight, Chris, Western Harnett, honestly, you know, if you just look at the books, anything can happen. That's why you play the game. But if you look at the books, they should be able to go into their last non-conference game of the season at Randleman next week undefeated.
Very good, very good. Yeah, so with the split conference 3A, 4A, you know, every conference winner, so actually in the SAC conference, there will be 2 conference championships. There will be a 3A champion and a 4A champion. Everyone is still saying 3A Scotland, 4A Pinecrest, right? Just like it was last year. But so all these teams, your Union Pines, your Southern Lees, your Lee Counties, they are really fighting and jockeying for that number 2 position, getting in more or less as a wild card, as a 14, as a 15, as a 16 seed in the playoffs. So all these wins right now are super critical for the Vikings, the Yellow Jackets, and the Cavaliers.
Every single game is of utmost importance when you only play a certain amount of games per season. But we come in tonight in this split 3A, 4A in Sand Hills Athletic Conference, Nate. Union Pines undefeated 2-0. Lee County is undefeated at 2-0. Pinecrest is also 2-0. Southern Lee is 1-0. They had their game last week canceled, I believe, Nate.
Seaforth canceled and never rescheduled. So Western Harnett is going to kick off to your Vikings. A little bit of a dribbler of kick. Going to be tackled down at the 55 by Western Harnett's Deontay McDougald.
And we talked a little bit at pregame about the underclassmen that are stepping it up this season, and that is number 2 on the return, John Arguiza. He plays special teams. He also comes in some at running back, but he is a sophomore. He's only 5'6", 135, Nate, so he's low to the ground. You can relate to being 5'6", 135, can't you?
Yeah, in elementary school. So, your Union Pines Vikings coming out led by number 12, Anthony Goswick at quarterback. Slew of running backs with the majority being number 17, Jeremiah Caraway.
And Jeremiah Caraway has been the majority of their offense this season, Chris, and there he is on about a 7-yard gain.
A tackle is going to be made there by number 38 from Western Harnett, Lyndon Smith. Made the tackle there.
So so we have, you know, 2 very powerful 4A teams in this split division. Scotland and Richmond both sitting at 500 right now, Nate. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, some of their non-conference schedules are absolutely insane. Richmond playing Butler on Saturday night last week. Butler is one of the perennial state powerhouses. So yeah, I don't read too much into those. Goswick's going to be back in the shotgun, send number 2 in motion. He bobbles the snap. He's still going to fall on it for a loss of 6. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 12, I believe. 3rd and 13 here for the Vikings. Not the start they were wanting. We might see Goswick air the ball out here.
And something that Spencer Patterson and I have been talking about a lot this year, Nate, is the Union Pines kicker, number 53, Cale John. He is a senior, but according to Coach Teal, this is the first time he's ever put on a football uniform, and he averages about 45, 50 yards per punt, and he had 2 touchbacks last week on kickoffs.
So Cale John is actually on my scouting report here. He is also 11 for 11 for PATs.
That's exactly right.
We're going to show Tunnel Rocket here. Ball's up. It's going to be a 50-50 ball. Oh, Western Harnett and the Vikings fighting for it. Broken up there by number 3 from Western Harnett. Oreo Blue or Keon Rucker, not sure which one. Probably Keon Rucker.
Yeah, one of them's a freshman, the other one's a senior, so I went with the senior.
Yeah, I went with the senior there with number 3, Keon Rucker.
So you mentioned about Kel John. He's 11 for 11 on PATs. However, Nate, he has yet to attempt a field goal. And he's 0 for 0 on field goals. So, but he's got the leg. We've seen him at practice. Spencer and I saw him last week pregame make about a 40-yarder. So he's got the leg.
Kel John back to punt this for your Union Pines Vikings. Kick is up. Good spiraling punt's going to land right at the 49. Not going to get a favorable bounce. Looks like Western Harnett touched it. This should be Viking ball. We'll wait and see the call from the ref.
Yes, it is,
there
Chris.
It is. Union Pines ball recovery. Special teams Fabu there for the Eagles. That gives Union Pines another second chance here.
Absolutely. That is a Pinehurst Toyota first down for Union Pines on the snafu by the Eagles. And Anthony Goswick comes back out and is going to try it again, this time for the first time in Eagle territory at the 49.
Head coach Mike James of the Western Harnett Eagles has to be very frustrated. Having played, having coached, having been on punt teams, having coached punt teams, when you see those dribblers, you tell everyone, get away. Get away from it. Run as far away from it as possible. You can run straight off the field before they blow the whistle. It's okay. Western Harnett, they're not doing that. Get bounced off the leg. Here we go.
And if you look at the Western Harnett roster, I mean, you got a lot of upperclassmen there that you would think they would know that. Ball's actually at the 47, Chris.
Nathan. Ball's on jet sweep there to number 12 from the Union Pines Vikings. That is, number 13 for the Union Pines Vikings, Josh Dunlap, junior wide receiver. He's going to go all the way down to the 25-yard line. Let's see where they mark it. Oh, nope, we got a flag in the middle of the field. Looks like it's going to be a hold. White hat calls it. There's the first penalty. That will be a
multiple
spot
yards.
penalty. So that'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Spot of the foul was a 37-yard line. So they're going to bounce it back to the 47, and they'll bring up a 1st and 9 here.
According to my statistics, in the last 2 games, Union Pines has lost over 170 yards on holding penalties, Chris.
Ooh.
And it was how much? That was probably another 30 yards right there?
That was pretty close. So Goswick's getting the play call in.
And too bad for Josh Dunlap, too. What a great run.
Great run there for the Vikings. Let's see. I like to see this jet motion more and more from the Vikings. Let's get these folks moving laterally. Let's see what happens. Goswick sends number 5 in motion. Haynes Tobias. That's carried by number 17, Jeremiah Caraway. He's going to take it all the way down to the 31-yard line, and that will be Union Pine's first down, brought to you by Pinehurst Toyota.
Yes, indeed it is. And Jeremiah Caraway is a beast. He's played a lot of minutes for Union Pines. Checking in is number 21, Roger Patterson, a running back. Union Pines has a lot of running backs that are under 5'6", so they all kind of are low to the ground, with the exception of Mr. Jeremiah Caraway, who's only 5'8", by the way.
Whoa. Goswick back to receive the snap. Snap is back. Hands off to Patterson. Patterson's going to bob and dive his way down to the 24-yard line for a gain of 7 there. That will bring up a 2nd and 3 for your Union Pines Vikings. Marching their way down, getting close to our first Vascular Institute of the Pines red zone visit, we hope.
Yes, sir, and that is number 21, Roger Patterson. They'll have that young man for another year. Union Pines has a lot of upperclassmen that have contributed this year thus far, and again, they have some sophomores that are also out there contributing.
We might be seeing the future of Union Pines Vikings football here.
I think we are indeed.
Goswick set to receive the snap, drops back, tosses off to number 13. He's going to miss one. He's going to be taken down all the way down to the 16-yard line for another first down, brought to you by Pinehurst Toyota.
Josh Dunlap again, Nate, to actually was the runner on the about a 30-yard pickup. He had a holding penalty and came back, so that young man was able to redeem himself.
Quick slot screen there for Dunlap. Good job getting open space, getting vertical. This will bring up the first down at the 15-yard line. And looks like, got to restart the clock. He was tackled in bounds. There it is. White hat blows it. We're getting ready for a snap. Goswick calling out to his offensive line. Gets set. Snap is back a little bit low. Quick out route to number 5. He's going to march all the way in. That's Haynes Tobias for your first Union Pines touchdown.
Haynes Tobias is a junior, 6'3", and he absolutely made a lot of contributions to this team last year as a sophomore, Nate, and this year coming in as a junior. So they're going to have that young man another year. Unfortunately, they got to figure out what to do with number 12, the quarterback, Anthony Goswick, because he is a senior. But I will tell you, that we have seen, and perhaps we're going to see some tonight, they have some really good backup quarterbacks in Ryan Green and Ian Hicks. Perhaps we'll see either of those two young men tonight.
Cale John up for another PAT. That makes him 12 for 12. He had plenty of leg on that. We'll take a quick break and come right back for the kickoff here in Cameron, North Carolina.
Legacy Commercial and Residential Construction. From concept to design, constructed to fit your lifestyle. We use only top quality finishes to make our house your home. Legacy Commercial and Residential Construction. The Sand Hills residential and commercial builder of choice.
Welcome back to the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Legacy Construction, residential and commercial, for all of your construction needs here in the Pinehurst, Southern Pines, Cameron, North Carolina area. Give them a call. They will get you hooked up. They build some beautiful stuff. I follow them on social media. Some of the stuff they build, it makes my wife get a little bit jealous. I'm not going to lie to you, Don.
No doubt. I understand. So what you're seeing here, folks, is Coach Brian Teal there at the bottom of your screen in the white coach's shirt about the 47-yard line. He just bent down. But there he is, back up now, pointing at the referee. But his first year come from Richmond.
Came in from Richmond, that's right.
Yep.
Brian Teal comes from a long lineage of really, really good coaches. John's kicking it back to the end zone, and it's going to dribble in. That's going to be a touchback. So Western Harnett's going to take over at the 20-yard line.
Really impressed with this young man, but I'm telling you, Spencer and I had a sit-down discussion with Coach Brian Teal before the season, and he told us about that young man right there, number 53, and not sure where he came from, but from what we understand, this is his first year playing football. Now, this is the third game of the season. We've said it enough. He's already an expert. He's going places. No more are we going to say that this is his first year playing football, because that young man obviously can play on Saturdays somewhere.
I've seen young men who've kicked for middle school and high school that don't have the leg that he has.
Correct.
So what a boot from that young man. Western Harnett coming out, doing a quick no-huddle brought to you. Number 7 is the quarterback here. He's going to hand off. Western Harnett's going to duck and dive down all the way to the 42-yard line.
Was it a fumble?
No way was that a fumble.
Okay. Tackled by a host of Vikings there.
Carry there was by number 4, Craig Matthews. I didn't get a look at who made the tackle for the Vikings. Looked like a whole slew of them. What do you call a group of Vikings? A gang? I don't know.
I think that's right, gang.
Number 4 is in motion. Hands back to him. He's going to come up the B gap. He's going to march his way all the way down to – where'd he go? All the way down to the 41-yard line for a gain of 5 there.
You have to be impressed. Thus far on this drive, obviously the Eagles' offensive line has put it to the D-line of Western Harnett, and right there in the middle of that D-line is the big number 75, Carter Herring, who stands 6'3" and 3 1/4.
Number 4, Craig Matthews, who just got the first 2 carries for the Western Harnett Eagles, is a freshman, Don.
Wow. Well, you know what? When you're rebuilding a program like Western Harnett and Coach James is doing, when you're rebuilding a program, trying to get a little bit of traction, you're going to have some freshmen.
You're going to have some freshmen. That's right. We saw that with Southern Lee 2 or 3 years ago, and there was a lot of naysayers talking about we shouldn't be doing this, we shouldn't be doing that, and we saw it come to fruition last year, Southern Lee making the playoffs, and this year starting to get 2-0. So obviously, 1-0 due to cancellation from Seaforth. I don't like that, Don. If you play that game on Saturday or play that game on Monday, do not just cancel. Number 4 is in motion again. He gets the handoff. It's going to be Craig Matthews on the carry. He's going to be down. The ball was put on the ground. Vikings are signaling it'll be their ball. Let's see who comes up from the scrum with it. Union Pines is very confident it's theirs.
They're adamant. They are adamant. But Western Harnett maintains possession. So that'll be third down and about a yard there for Western.
Coming off the field is Craig Matthews. He will not be getting the rock again this play. A.J. Manning commanding the huddle there, not something we see very often in high school or college or professional football anymore.
So, Chris, you had talked about
Nathan.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Chris. I got this large.
You're so used to it. It's all right. I get it.
I can understand if I'd call you Spencer, and that'd make more sense.
Number 5 in motion. Give him another toss. He's going to be up. Met in the hole by Vikings. This one's going to be close, depending on the spot. That was number 5, Braden Kearns on the carry, junior running back for the Eagles.
Elijah Clayton on the stop there for the Vikings, and it looks like it's going to be enough. Ooh, they're going to measure it, looks like perhaps. Nope, first down.
White hat signaled that will be your first down, brought to you by Pinehurst Toyota.
You talked about, just a few moments ago, you were talking about last week, Seaforth canceling that game. Remind the folks the situation of last week. We had a little bit of weather. We had some delays. Pinecrest, actually, they did postpone the game, and they played Saturday morning. So talk to us a little bit about the situation that was going on last week.
So the weather last week was a little bit tumultuous up on our part of the state. There was a lot of storms rolling through, a lot of thunder and lightning. I'll be honest, when I left my house, I was broadcasting in Lee County last week. If you had told me when I left my house at 6:30 that we would play that football game, I would have told you were crazy. Number 4 again on the carry, Craig Matthews. That game ended up getting postponed to 8 o'clock. Kickoff ended up being about 8:10, so we were there a little bit later, but they did get it in. So and these non-conference games are so important for any team that's vying for a playoff berth.
51, Grayson Thies, who has contributed a lot this year so far for the Vikings, and on the tackle there, a senior linebacker. Ball right on midfield.
2nd and 7 here for the Western Harnett Eagles. Manning under quarterback. Hands off in the dive play. He's going to be all the way up to the 44-yard line. Looks to be about gain of 6 there.
Chris, they know what they're.
Nathan. Do it one more time. I might throw you out this booth and put Tim Hare on the headset.
They know what they're doing. And that's what they've done all year. You mentioned it. So they have perfected this run, and they have perfected the blocking scheme. It's going to be up to Union Pines to stop it.
Western Harnett is in this double wing tight set. They're running a variation of the traditional wing T offense. There's your dive. He's going to be pushed all the way up to the 41-yard lines where the side judge is, so that'll be another Western Harnett first down. But in this double tight wing T set, you're going to see a lot of movement from those two wings. And for those at home that don't know, the wings are the running backs that can also sneak out to be receivers that are 1 yard back and 1 foot over from the left tackles. So if you're looking at your left tackle, if you go 1 yard back and 1 yard to the opposite side of the ball, that's your wing position, Don.
Tell the audience what positions you coached when you were coaching football.
So I had started as an offensive line coach, worked my way to a running backs coach, and an offensive coordinator. So I know a pretty small amount about offense and even less about defense.
After this play, tell us which was your favorite and why.
I will. Manning's going to keep it on here. He's going to go up the big gap. He's going to find his way.
Oh, somebody took it away.
He
was down. They're saying he's down.
Yeah.
We might have a replay. That was number 30, Drew Doherty. I thought he took it away while the dude was running, but evidently they called him down.
Ripped it straight out of his hand. There's no way that young man was down.
Exactly. That makes no sense whatsoever. You can absolutely advance that ball if you take it away.
Yeah, but he did fall. So when they blew it, I figured they were blowing him down.
No, it's first down. First down UP.
First down UP. There you go, White Hat.
So he fell. So he's down.
He's down. Correct.
Okay, but it is UP ball. All right, excellent.
The NFL is the only league that you can fall, your knee or elbow can touch the ground, and if you are not touched, you can get up and progress.
Yes.
So where in the world are they spotting this thing? They're going to
like
spot it right at the 44-yard line here.
Yep, about the 43.
That's the second turnover for Western Harnett of the night.
So Union Pines, Nathan, has a lot of new things this year. They have a new PA announcer. They have a brand new press box, which we have the luxury of being in this evening. And they have their big board. their Jumbotron is not new, but they have new graphics on the Jumbotron. So a new season, a new start. I'm telling you, if you are in Cameron, you should come out on Friday night. The atmosphere is electric. They have an excellent award-winning band and a great football team.
Absolutely. This is the place to be. I love coming down here, Don. Goswick back at quarterback. He bobbles the snap. He's going to keep it. He's got a little bit of room. He's broke one tackle. He's going to be down at quarterback. Botched play ended up turning into real positive yards. I don't see any flags. That is a Union Pines first down.
Anthony Goswick is thick. He is strong. He has a BMI of like 2.5, but he is so slow.
Well, that's all right. That was a good heads-up quarterback play by a senior quarterback. He saw that it was a botch play. His handoff, his mesh work wasn't going to be there, and he found green space and ran to it. So that was a really, really good heads-up play by a senior quarterback. Couple of snap problems here for the Vikings. There's your jet sweep to number 2. He's got a man to beat, and there's 2 tackles. He's looking for the pylon.
Touchdown.
He good all the way.
Touchdown, John Arguiza.
That is a Union Pines touchdown, making it 13-0 here. 2 turnovers from Western Harnett, 2 scores from the Vikings.
John Arguiza, again, another underclassman that's contributing on this team in their undefeated start thus far. Number 2, John Arguiza, sophomore.
Great play there. Great. That was all that was a jet sweep toss from the Union Pines Vikings. He found great speed. That young man is elusive.
All right, let's see if we can do 13 for 13 here for Cale John. Wiggles his shoulders, gets rid of the nerves.
Snap is back, hold is up, and it is good. That makes him 13 for 13.
3 minutes and 58 seconds to go, Nathan, in the first quarter.
Here you go. We're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsors that we're so thankful for, and we'll be back for the kickoff.
Rise Up More, a new youth tackle football league in Moore County. We believe football is a catalyst to improve the mental and physical wellness of children and their families in all of Moore County by providing safe opportunities for all youth to learn tackle football. Kids will begin their development as athletes and learn the skills they need to achieve success in life as they prepare to lead the next generation. Are you ready to join us? For more information and for corporate sponsorships, visit riseupmore.com. Resilience, integrity, social intelligence, emotional regulation. Rise Up More. Subscribe today at riseupmore.com.
Welcome back to the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Legacy Construction, residential and commercial construction. Wow, what a start for Union Pines Vikings, up 14-0, 3:58 left to go. So we're really 8 minutes into this ball game. Western Harnett cannot be thrilled. 2 turnovers, 2 scores right after for the Vikings. Head coach Brian Till's got to be happy with his team.
And he has to be thrilled, and not only thrilled with his team, but he has to be thrilled with the fans. This side of the field is packed out. There's not a seat available.
Ooh, that's going to be a penalty. That ball went out of bounds in the field of play. So that ball should be spotted at the 30? 35?
I think so. But, you know, Chris DeLambert is our cohort. You call a lot of games with Mr. DeLambert, and so I've called plenty of games with him. I guess that's the reason I've been calling you Chris. But have you seen the Jim Romo? Jim Rome? You know who Jim Rome is?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
Rome is burning, yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen him interview Tim Everett, the quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams, and he called him Chris Everett, the woman tennis player?
No.
They got in a fist fight.
Oh, God. Well, I'm not going to fist fight you.
Thank you, because I would die.
I'll go ahead and tell you that. I've got too much respect for you. I've known you a long time. I really like you.
Appreciate it.
I wouldn't fist fight you.
Oh, man. But our producer has already warned me this cannot happen anymore, so I'm good.
Western Harnett with Manning at quarterback, back under center, 5's in motion. There's your another toss. He's looking for an alley. He's met by a group of Vikings. That's going to be a run for no gain here for the Eagles. That was number 5, Braden Kearns on the carry. He was sitting back there hoping a hole would develop. This Western Harnett offensive line is a big group up front. They really seem to be keen behind number 70, Josiah Veasley, senior tackle, 6'5", 300 pounds. They've run almost every run behind that young man. He's playing tackle there for the Eagles, so he's going to be one to watch. But
he's playing really well and taking his assignments very well. Obviously, I think the offensive line for Western Harnett has controlled this game tonight versus the defensive UP. I really do, with the exception of the turnovers.
Right, which they have nothing to do with. Number 5's in motion again. Oh, there's a toss opposite. It's going to be taken down to the 44-yard line. That will bring up a 3rd and 1 here for the Eagles.
Yeah, tackled by a host of Vikings there up the field. But, you know, when you're Western Harnett, you've got to feel good because you're averaging about 6 yards a carry right now, and they have yet to attempt to pass. So, Nate, what you said in the Zaxby's pregame is obviously coming to fruition yet again here in Cameron.
They're currently 1 for 2 for the season on passes. They're still 1 for 2. That's going to be some wildcat run there by number 25, Savion James. Union Pines Vikings sniff that one out right off the bat. That's going to bring up a 4th and 5 here for the Eagles. I hate to say this is a do-or-die time for them, but they got a decision to make here. Looks like they're bringing on number 88, which could potentially be their punter, Jacob Tardif, outside linebacker, punter, kicker, senior. They might try to do a draw, the Vikings offsides, and if not, he'll back up and kick it. We saw this against Southern Lee. It worked a couple of times, and then Southern Lee figured it out and went after it and ended up blocking one, if I recall correctly.
Well, it looks like that they are going to – they're going to line up to go for it, but like you said, they may drop back.
Quarterback.
Nope,
There's
they're going for it.
That's number 5 on the carry. He is met in the hole by a group of Vikings.
Turnover on downs.
On downs.
Benedict. And on the tackle there for the Vikings, number 6, Dylan Benedict.
He met him in the hole.
Once again, an underclassman playing for the starting team. And you have to be careful when you're a head coach and you do those chest bumps against these kids.
You
with
can
their
find your rear end on the ground.
Oh, my word. With those, not only do you have plenty of years on these youngsters, but also they're wearing pads, man. But the OC did well. Yeah, that was Dylan Benedict, a sophomore linebacker. So I love seeing – I love seeing these young players, these sophomores. Union Pines does not have any freshmen that play on the first team, but I love seeing these sophomores come out and contribute on this team.
Gossick back at quarterback. He's going to pass. He's looking downfield. Oh, dangerous throw with a safety sitting over the top. Pass attempt to number 3, Sincere McGargo. Thank you for that one.
Yep, McGargo's had a couple of receptions on the year. He is one of Goswick's favorite targets. That one unfortunately fell incomplete. Now it was 2 against 1 there, so Goswick taking a chance.
Western Harnett was sitting with a man press underneath with cover 3 over the top, and boy, that was a dangerous throw with the safety sitting right there. Got his hand on, tipped it up. I'd imagine we're going to see another dose of run here on the 2nd and 10. Handoff for the Vikings. He's broken 1. He's broken 2. He's going to be to the sideline. He's going to be pushed out of bounds right at the 25-yard line.
Roger Patterson
on the carry, and that'll be another Union Pines first down, brought to you by Pinehurst Toyota.
Yeah, another great play there by UP in the offensive line and their blocking scheme. I think that on both sides, Western Harnett's O-line is doing a good job. UP's O-line is doing a great job. But unfortunately for Western, they have nothing to show for it, whereas UP has 14.
Goswick getting the play call in from the offensive coordinator with the white hat. In the shotgun position, we've got 2 receivers to the top of your screen. We got motion from the wing. He's going to step back. We're doing a levels throw here. Caught by number 5, Haynes Tobias. He's going to be brought down right at the 16-yard line. That'll bring up a 2nd and 1, but that will also take us to the Vascular Institute of the Pines red zone. Union Pines knocking on the door of breaking this thing up to a 20-0 lead here. 57 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Don, you think they put it in before the bell tolls?
Absolutely, I think so. I think they've got time for at least 2 more solid plays, and I think they're going to put it in right here.
2nd and 2 here for the Vikings. Goswick quarterback. He's going to hand off to Patterson. Patterson's going to get taken down in the backfield with a flag. Looks like we might have a hold here. That's in the territory of holding.
I think holding on number 69 for Union Pines there is what we're going to have the call. Of course, they don't call the number out in high school, but we do. That's Ryan Kimbrough. We'll see what White Hat has to say, and there it is.
There's holding on your Vikings. That's going to be a spot foul. Looked like it was right at where the ball played, so this will bring up a 2nd and 12 here. Vikings going the wrong way. back out of the red zone.
Talking a little bit about the schedule for Union Pines tonight, Western Harnett. Then next week they go to Randleman to wrap up their non-conference schedule. And then conference starts in the Sand Hills Athletic for a 3A split. They've got Lee County here at Viking Stadium, and then they have Scotland here. Ooh. And then we'll talk more about the rest of the schedule after this play.
Fun run here. Union Pines, 2 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen with a wing and a lone man up top. Quick tunnel screen. He's got some space. It's number 3. He's going to take it all the way to the end zone. That is another Union Pines touchdown.
That is Sincere McGargo again, another favorite target for Anthony Goswick. This time he makes the reception in for 6.
We're seeing Union Pines really kind of chuck the ball around a little bit tonight. Great job there by head coach Brian Till and all of his staff. Going up quick, 20-0 here. Let's see if Mr. John can put this in,
14.
Make it 14 for 14. Let's watch, maybe. PAT crew gives a head nod. Snap is back. Hold is bobbled, but it's recovered. John puts it up. It is good. That makes it 21-0 here in Cameron, North Carolina. We're going to take a quick break and be back for the kickoff.
Introducing Zaxby's new chicken finger tacos. One with pico and creamy chipotle ranch, and the other with bacon and avocado ranch. Chicken experts since 1990. Taco experts since now. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
Welcome back to the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Legacy Construction, residential and commercial. Union Pines going to kick off here at the 40-yard line. Let's see if John puts this thing back in the end zone. Western Harnett has their right back. His heels are about the 2-yard line. John seems to like to pull it a little bit left, which is on the right side of the receiving team. But he's got a big space, so if he could place this ball, if they could put that right about the 20-yard line, middle of the field, they've got some green space there.
Yeah, we're going to finish talking in a minute about the conference schedule coming up for UP. But before we do,
ball lands in the 6. He's going to bring it up. He's going to be covered up by a group of Vikings right about the 19-yard line. There is a flag. There's a helmet on the ground. That young man has to come off. We'll see what this flag is. Don, drop some knowledge.
Yeah, so while we're waiting on the flag, so you're a coach, so tell me, what do you tell kids that are, winless? They were, I believe, winless last year. They're winless thus far this year. We're still in the first quarter. They're already down 3 scores. They haven't even been into UP territory yet. How do you coach these kids? How do you keep them in the game? How do you keep them focused? Because if they're not focused, they tend to get hurt, and nobody wants that.
I don't know, Don. I never went 0 and whatever for 2 seasons. No, I'm just
kidding. Touche.
No, you tell them to trust the process, trust the brothers beside them, and keep fighting. And you make smaller, achievable goals. You don't come back and say, we're going to come back and win this ball game. You go, I want to win the second quarter. I want to win the third quarter. And then all of a sudden, if you start going up 1 touchdown a quarter, all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, we're back in this ball game.
Yeah.
So that's what we start telling them. Small victories. Win this series. Win this down. Win this quarter, and then you move on. Really your goal here, 21 seconds left. You're obviously not going for a touchdown on this play. You're not throwing a Hail Mary with it being the first quarter. They'll just flip the field. But you want to put together a nice, long, sustaining drive here. You're going to get the ball beginning of the second half because Union Pines received it first. So you want to put scores up. You want to stop Union Pines that next series and, see what you can do with your second drive. So that's going to be number 25 on the carry, Savion James. He's going to be up. It's a gain of 5 there for James. It might be a gain of 6 to bring up a 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6. Sorry, 2nd and 4.
That might be the last play of the first quarter. Grayson Thies in on the tackle for Union Pines. All right, folks. Nate, that's going to take us to the end of the first. And, folks, we're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be right back for the kickoff of the second quarter. I'm sorry, for the second quarter of the game.
Second quarter of the game. We'll take a quick break.
Are you ready to sell your home and don't know which realtor to choose? Well, not all realtors are the same. I'm Crystal Copas, and I don't just stick a sign in the yard, throw it in the MLS, and hope to collect a commission. I provide a customized marketing plan that includes professional staging, photography, videography, and drone at no cost to you. Contact me, Crystal Copas, with RE/MAX Real Estate Service, and let's get your house sold. 919-356-5402 or visit me at crystalcopas.com.
Buy
your next new or used car the way you want to buy with the Pinehurst Toyota Smart Buy program. Visit pinehursttoyota.com and choose or build the vehicle you want. Try the Pinehurst Toyota Smart Buy. It's the easiest way to buy your next new or used car.
Introducing Zaxby's new chicken finger tacos. One with pico and creamy chipotle ranch, and the other with bacon and avocado ranch. Chicken experts since 1990. Taco experts since now. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
Welcome back to the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Legacy Construction. Here we are, beginning of the second quarter. Western Harnett looking to put together a good drive here, put some points up. Remember, they do receive the kickoff at the beginning of the second half, so this game, although 21-0 looks daunting, you put together a good drive here, you get a stop, you put some more points up on that second drive going into halftime, we've got us a ball game. So Western Harnett, it's very easy to get down and say, well, this one's over too. But there's still life in this ball game.
Yes, there are 3 full quarters to go, so we will see. It would really help, obviously, for Western to be able to march down here and at least get 3. But you look at the sideline. Look at Union Pine's sideline. And then look at Western Harnett's sideline.
Number 7, quarterback Keep. He's going to toss it up. Terrible idea there. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 4 for the Eagles. That was number 7, A.J. Manning. He was scrambling for his life, looking for a dump pass there. Threw it into a group of Vikings. They almost fought over who was going to intercept that.
So I was mentioning, Nate, this has a lot to do with recruiting. It has a lot to do with getting guys, recruiting their friends to go play for the team and to have depth. If you look over at Western Harnett, how many kids would you say are on that sideline right now?
On the sideline right now?
Yeah.
15.
15 plus 11, right?
Yep.
So 26. How many's on UP's sideline, would you say?
Ooh, at least 35 or 40.
I would say probably 40.
There's a slew of them.
51 versus 26. I mean, That's a big difference when you can substitute players in and out. That has a lot to do, I believe, with Western Harnett and their struggles.
Absolutely. And you can see Coach Mike James, doing some things to slow down this game, let his guys catch a breath. That could be why they're huddling. That's going to be a toss to number 25, Savion James. He's going to be up to right at the 19. He's between the 19 and the 20-yard line. That'll bring up a 4th and short here for the Eagles. Taken
down by T.J. Robinson for the Vikings. I think in this, I don't know their kicker situation. You saw him last week. Did you see? You said just a minute ago you saw their punter drop back. I don't know that I would go for it here this deep in Viking territory, but what are your thoughts here? I mean, you've seen their punter more than I have.
I'd go for it. I'd put the belly in a fullback. I'd go for it. This game, if you give up pretty decent field position, their punter's not that. He doesn't have that strong of a leg.
He did not get this first down.
I don't know. This side judge he's right at the 20.
He is favorable.
It's going to be close. Let's see where they spot the ball.
Yep, first down.
First down. Ooh,
I don't know. I don't like the way where he placed it. He placed it at the 19.5. They had to get to the 20.
I love that. But, anyways, that's an Eagle first down. Brought to you by Pinehurst Toyota.
Big 75 checking out Carter Herring. Love that kid. I have no idea who he is, but I just love him.
I have a heart for the big guys that have to run on and off, and you're like, Coach, just leave me in. It's a lot of energy to be out there on the ball field than it is to run back and forth.
It's got to be tough, man. It really has to be tough. One of my son's best friends, he played football last year at Southern, is Caleb Waters, who's now playing the collegiate level on Saturdays, playing at Ferrum University in Virginia. And that's another big dude. And I know firsthand the amount of stress it puts on a body when you're a big dude.
Number 4 on the carry, Keon Rucker. He's going to be taken down at the 24-yard line for a gain of 4 there.
Yeah, a tackle made by number 76 for Union Pines. Great tackle, Javon Andrews. That's another big kid out there, 330 pounds.
It's good to see number 4, Caleb Milton, out on the field. We hadn't seen him for a little while. I have to wonder if he was sitting out in the first quarter for some sort of reason from Coach Brian Till. We didn't see him at all in the first quarter. Now he is back at defensive back. He has been a critical part of this team for the past couple years. I feel like this young man's been here forever.
Yeah.
Senior defensive back. He also plays wide receiver. He's 6'2", 210, big athletic kid. So we'll see him get put into the fold. Manning's going to scramble. He's looking. There's his third pass.
Wow.
It's recovered by number 25, Savion
Wow.
James. He's down to the 40, the 30, the 20, and he's drugged down at the 14-yard line for an Eagle first down.
Damari Johnson finally chased him down. Wow, there's no laundry on the field, Nate. But, wow, what an absolute great catch in coverage, I might say.
In coverage, great throw by Manning as well.
Great throw, great execution. Man, that should really pump some life into this Eagles team right now. You talked about Caleb Milton. I'll tell you, Caleb Milton, he has not had to carry as much of the load as in the years past, Nate. That's the reason why you haven't seen him as much, because Jeremiah Caraway, number 17, has really stepped up this year and taken the bull by the horns, and he plays really well outside of the red zone, does Caraway. And then when you get into the red zone, especially 10 and under, you're going to see Caleb Milton come out. You haven't seen him a lot tonight because there hasn't been a lot of short yardage plays for the Vikings. They've all been long plays. Caraway, you've had also scoring was you had Caraway score. You also had Hayne Tobias. That's who the other kid was that scored for Union Pines. So hasn't been much opportunity for Caleb Milton. But I do like the way Coach is kind of saving his legs a little bit,
right.
Keeping him out from injury. You got a 21-0 lead. And when you got fire and ice like Caraway and Milton, hey, man, run with it. No pun intended. So we got youth night here tonight, Nate.
Western Youth Night. Look at all these kids.
Yep.
As a father, you and I both are fathers. You have multiple kids. You have three?
Three.
And I just have the one.
And he's what, 6?
He's 5.
He's 5.
It warms my heart to see all these young kids out here, next generation of football players. Number 5 is going to be on the carry there.
Uh-oh, fumble recovered by Union Pines.
And that's another. Hold on, side judge.
I believe that was recovered by Union Pines 100%. He was nowhere near being down. Western Harnett.
What are we looking at here?
I don't know.
Zebra Cruz.
They're not calling it. They're giving it to Western.
Zebra Cruz going to say he's down. Side judge looked like he was calling him down, although he was not giving the motion that he was down.
I don't know, but
hold on. Now they're going to stop the clock. White Hat's going to confer with the side
yeah,
judge.
I think that's Union Pines ball. Harley Moyer in on the tackle in the strip. Love that kid, Harley Moyer.
That's a conversation of, sir, are you sure? Are you sure? You better get it right.
Well, the Eagles are going to keep it, so that's that.
Zebra Cruz still talking about it. Now they're going to go talk to head coach Brian Till.
You want to take a quick break, Nate?
Nah, let's stay right here.
All right, so as we stay here, we're going to talk a little bit more about this conference schedule for Union Pines. So, again, their first conference game is Lee County here at home, Scotland at home. Then they travel to Richmond. And surprisingly, Hope County, which started the season 0-2, Nate, is coming here. And then Union Pines has 2 very difficult games to wrap up the season if they want to go to the playoffs, at Southern Lee, at Pinecrest.
The Bucks cannot be thrilled with an 0-2 start down in Rayford. Is that considered Rayford?
Hope County would be Rayford, yes.
I love seeing little fans walk by and wave at us.
Yeah, Nate has a following. You have a following for sure.
They don't tell anybody.
Too many people are coming up here asking for your autograph. They just kind of – I'm like, I don't even have his autograph. Are you kidding? I wanted to buy a 50-50 raffle, but they're $5, and I've only got 2.
That's a lot.
Maybe Brandon will give me
a lot.
3. It is.
Yeah, just take it out of our checks.
But, this is a wealthy community. This is golf country. All the preppies and the golf and the tennis.
Whoa. Let's keep stereotypes out of our broadcast there.
Oh,
Mr.
my
Clay.
apologies. My apologies.
All right, here we are. Now we're finally back. The Eagles lined up under their double tight wing tee set. They're going to be pushing in the fullback. He's going to be pushed all the way up. He's at the 10. He's all the way down to the 6-yard line. That should be another Eagle first down. We got a helmet off. Boy, this is turned into a rugby match.
It really. Well, when you're Western Harnett and you are where you are, it can easily turn into a rugby match.
I do think
it's a mindset.
I think this is the biggest Union Pine squad I have seen in years.
I agree with that. And they do rotate a lot, which keeps them fresh and obviously a major advantage, especially in the third and fourth quarter.
Manning under center here. He's going to dive with number 88 from the Eagles. Looks like he should have the first down all the way down in the Vascular Institute of the Pines red zone. Should bring up, well, maybe not. Maybe they're going to call him a little bit short, bring up, oh, nope, white hat signals first down. That'll bring up first and goal from the 5-yard line here. Western Harnett knocking on the door. One thing we talked about is really utilizing some of this clock. We're 4 minutes in to the second quarter. Western Harnett knocking on the door, hoping to put points up.
Yep, and once again in the Vascular Institute of the Pines red zone.
Manning under center again. They send number 4 in motion. They toss to him to the edge. He's going to have a hole, and he's going to march all the way down to the – I feel like he was one step too short to hit that hole when he needed to. That'll bring up a second and goal from about the 2-yard line here for your Western Harnett Eagles.
76, Javon Andrews checking in for 75, Carter Herring. Javon Andrews had a nice tackle for loss earlier in the first quarter. We're going to get to watch an amazing award-winning band coming up at halftime there, Nate.
I think our fans would probably rather watch them play than listen to us talk. What do you think?
We're going to talk very briefly, and then we're going to listen to the band.
There's Manning under center. Looks like Kearns is in motion. He's brought down right at the 1-yard line. Union Pines is signaling it's their ball. Side judge is calling him down
once again.
Union Pines looking a little frustrated. Head coach Brian Till saying, get back up there. We don't need to have this conversation right now. 3rd and goal here on the 1-yard line for the Eagles.
Noah Gassaway checking in there for the Vikings. Had a big play last week against Northwood.
I'd expect this ball in Braden Kearns' belly right here. He's going to be pushed. Oh, where's the side judge? Side judge is calling him down. It's going to bring up a 4th and goal with an 1.5 inches to go here. Huge stand by the Union Pines Vikings defense.
Harley Moyer in on that stop for Union Pines, a beast of a young man, senior defensive back. Contributed a lot last year to this game, or to this team. All right, so a big, that ball is on the 1-inch marker there,
That
Nate.
ball is right there. Quarterback keeper here for the Vikings potential, or for the Eagles potentially.
Maybe a tush push, perhaps? You missed that, don't you, from last year?
Yeah.
The Eagles tush push, or that was year before maybe.
Western Harnett taking the air out here. They're going to get a delay of game penalty here if they are not careful.
Buy your next new or used car the way you want to buy with the Pinehurst Toyota Smart Buy program. Visit PinehurstToyota.com and choose or build the vehicle you want. Try the Pinehurst Toyota Smart Buy. It's the easiest way to buy your next new or used car.
Legacy Commercial and Residential Construction. From concept to design, constructed to fit your lifestyle. We use only top quality finishes to make our house your home. Legacy Commercial and Residential Construction. The Sand Hills residential and commercial builder of choice.
Welcome back to the NFHS Game of the Week. Union Pines trying to run a man off. They had 12 on the field. They're going to get him off. Western Harnett's getting set up. Tight under center. It's going to be a quarterback push here. Oh, we got something. They called it.
Might have false start. Or encroachment on the defense. Yep.
Encroachment on defense.
I know. That's not going to make a huge difference, so don't beat yourself up there, John and Grizza.
Half the distance to the yard there. 3rd penalty on the Union Pines Vikings on the night.
I mean, Damari Johnson, number 20, not number 2, but yeah, that's going to move him up maybe a centimeter.
Yeah. Half an inch. These fans.
How do you divide a half an inch? How do you divide?
By 2, make it a 1/4 inch.
And then how do you divide that?
Into an 1/8 of an inch.
Wait, did they do it? Did they get it? Did they get it? No.
Union Pines defense.
Wow, unbelievable.
With a goal line stand there. Turnover on downs.
Very nice. Very
nice stand by the young
Look at number
man.
75, Carter Herring. He's that's what happened. I told you that was going to happen. Why would you do that to 75 Carter Herring, the biggest dude on the team? The biggest dude on the team. Why would you do that?
Don Clayton, the soothsayer
Nate
over here.
Cochran.
He called it.
I did.
He called it. He said, you got to be careful. That is a big young man to be jumping, bumping bellies with.
Oh, my word. He's the biggest dude on the team.
Good, Greg. What is that guy's stats? That guy.
Look at him. He's 3 1/4.
6'1",
He's
3
right there.
1/4. I love that. Somebody buy that man a biscuit. I love it. He's a man after my own heart. Oh, and he's got a reddish hint to his hair, just like me.
He might be one of yours.
No.
You've been traveling down to Moore County?
No.
Do I need to call Allison?
I've been happily married 11 years, and I don't have any intention of messing that up.
Let me text Allison. We're on the curriculum team together. Man, that is amazing. That was awesome.
Great play there by number 75 from Union Pines. We know we joked about him belly bumping his coach to the ground, but Carter Herring, what a play, young man. And a defensive stand from Union Pines. Gave up big play to Savion James. Western Harnett looked like they were going to roll right into this end zone. Great goal line stand from the Vikings.
Absolutely, and we talked about in the first quarter how UP's O-line just really had dominated the game. Unfortunately, because of penalties and turnovers, they have 0 points to show for it. However, on that particular drive of 4 plays, 4 and out, unable to score into the end zone, and came up maybe 2.5 centimeters short.
Western Harnett on 4 drives, 2 turnovers, and 2 turnover on downs. So rough start here for the Eagles. All right, so if you're Union Pines, you go under center. It's not what they usually do, but you're snapping the ball 4 yards deep into your end zone, 4.5 yards deep into your end zone here. Looks like Goswick's going to be back at quarterback under center here. And they're going to
draw. See, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That's exactly what you want to do to get a little breathing room. Excellent play by Goswick.
They're
very cerebral.
They're running what we used to call the old go-go. Quarterback gets under center, down, set, go, 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 go.
Well,
sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't.
Well, it worked that time, so very good there with Mr. Goswick.
We'll bring up a 1st and 5 on the 5 1/4 yard line here for the Vikings. Goswick's still going to be under center here. Handoff. Is that Mr. Milton on the carry?
That is Mr. Milton, number 4. Yeah, that's Caleb Milton.
Caleb Milton on the carry there. He's going to take it all the way up to the 19-yard line. That will be a Pinehurst Toyota first down.
Yeah, and so what you've got here with about 5 minutes left to go before halftime, if you're UP, you would really like to get at least one more score before halftime. If you're Western, you're just looking for a stop.
Goswick back in the shotgun formation. Trips receivers to the bottom of your screen, going right to left. One lone man in the quad set up on the top of your screen. Getting the play call in. I'd love to see Milton in a one man by himself set. Western Harnett down in man press. Looks like side judge blew it. Looks like Western Harnett Union Pines wants to talk about it. We'll take a quick break to hear from our sponsors. Be right back.
Jen Ritchie at Everything Pines is a trusted real estate professional with over a decade of experience. Jennifer showcases the Sandhills with new construction neighborhoods in the Union Pines district. Passionate about representing quality new construction homes in proud neighborhoods full of Viking pride. The Reserve, Camp Easter Cottages, and Little River Run. For more information, visit everythingpinespartners.com.
The only thing real in this video is the new Mr. Beast box at Zaxby's. This restaurant, it's a green screen. The ground I'm walking on, it's a treadmill. Me? I'm not Mr. Beast.
I'm Chandler. Go get the new Mr. Beast box at Zaxby's. It has Feastables.
Welcome back to the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Legacy Construction. The man, the myth, the legend, Tim Kopus.
Boss
rolling in the boss.
Boss, would you like to say a few words?
No. All right. Goswick back at quarterback. We got trips to the bottom of your screen. Goswick's going to take it. He's going to be a quarterback read. He's to the 40. He's to the ball. He was drugged down at the 46-yard line. That was a quarterback read, reading the outside defensive end.
Nice
he crashed in. Goswick kept it, ran it all the way up to the 47, 48-yard line. Union Pines putting together a good couple plays here to get out of their own end zone.
And that's another Pinehurst Toyota first down, Nate.
Here we go. Union Pines really hoping to put up another score here before that bell tolls for halftime. Great play by Goswick.
Yeah, nice read.
2 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. 1 lone man with a wing to the top of your screen. Hand off to 23, Patterson. He's bobbing and weaving. He's missed, made 1 miss, made 2 miss. We're going to have a late hold back here. White Hat threw it all the way from the 37-yard line.
So frustrating. Nate, that is actually number 23, Jaden Street.
Sorry, Jaden Street.
Yep, Patterson is 21. Jaden Street has contributed a lot. He is a senior running back. Once again, low to the ground, only 5'5", 140. But again, I stress, I emphasize, we talked about it in the Zaxby's pregame about the multiple holding calls, which negates hundreds of yards when you add it up for the season for Union Pines. They've got to get that corrected. And I'm going to tell you, as a coach, it drives you insane because if you go look at the play, I would say, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say at least 50% of the time the hold didn't impact the play whatsoever.
It did not. It was way behind the play, and it was way late. What was that young man's name again? I apologize.
Oh, yeah, 23, Jaden Street.
23, Jaden Street on the carry. I apologize to anyone at home who might be a Jaden Street fan. I got that wrong. Great carry. I like the way that young man, he was patient enough to find his hole, and then he burst through it, did a great job making a man miss.
Yep,
Give that young man the ball again.
Yeah, he's setting up in the backfield.
Got an update from Kristen Lambert over at the Southern League game. They are up 8-0. Eastern Randolph is up 8-0 in the third quarter. That's going to be another tunnel screen there for the Vikings. That's going to be about a gain of 9, taking up to a 2nd and 11 on the 46-yard line.
Caden Sovey contributing tonight, a junior. So that game, Southern Lee, last year, I believe, Nate, Southern Lee lost that game, Eastern Randolph, a 2A school. Now, they're a large 2A school.
Right.
And they lost, I believe, 35-15, somewhere along those lines. But so far tonight, it seems to be rather competitive because, Nate, they started at 7. So they should be at halftime right now.
They're in the third quarter. 8:03 left to go in the third. Goswick back. He tosses it to number 2. He makes 1-man miss, 2-man miss, 3-man miss.
He's fast.
Got to the sideline. He's got to get – oh, and
is that a horse collar?
He was drugged down at the 20 there's no way that young man was drugged down at the 29-yard line. That's a terrible spot from the side judge.
He may have stepped out there, though. It was really close, hard to see. But, again, that's number 2, John Arguiza, sophomore. Again, only an underclassman and just super fast, low to the ground. Once again, 5'6". So these really low to the ground running backs are super fast and sneaky. They can cut.
That'll be another Union Pines first down, brought to you by Pinehurst Toyota. Marching all the way down to the Western Harnett 30-yard line. Here we go, Don. Here we go. Goswick back quarterback. Sends number 2 in motion. Gives it in the jet,
he's got all day.
motion.
Oh,
and if
that's not a horse collar, I don't know what is.
Line. There it is. White flag threw it finally.
Yep.
And it is his flag to throw, so that is the proper person to throw it. That is a horse collar. That'll be 15 from the spot of the foul, so that should take him all the way down to the 16-yard line if my math's not wrong.
Sounds right to me.
I just look at damaged buildings for a living, so I don't usually math too much.
Again, another beautiful night. Talk about weather. Last week was a little sketchy, but tonight is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to say probably in the upper 70s. Really no wind, but the good news about being in the upper 70s and having no wind and no breeze is the fact that there is very low humidity. So it's just a really nice evening tonight in Cameron, North Carolina. Once again, if you are listening, regardless if you have a child that goes to this school or not, if you are a community member, you really need to come out, buy a ticket, support this team, because not only the team, you've got the cheerleaders, you've got the band members, you've got the kids that volunteer in the concessions. Just a really good community feel here.
And what so many people, we'll talk about this at the break, but I actually really want to dive into that. So keep that train of thought. Goswick's going to receive the snap. He's looking. He's scrambling out of the pocket. He's going to be brought down by number 44, Jamad Williams, senior defensive lineman. He is kind of the anchor of this Eagles defense.
Yeah, really good player by there, Jamad Williams on number 44 for Western Harnett. Just really chased down. Goswick is coming out, has his helmet off, so we may be seeing a backup quarterback coming in, maybe Ryan Green. Is that who we might – let's see here. Let's see who here. I believe it's going to be
number 3, Sincere McGargo checked in, but I don't think that's who. They ran another guy off. They ran off number 14, Caden Sovey. So let's see who's going to take the snap here.
You're going to have
definitely a bit of a size difference here. Number 10, Ryan Green.
Ryan Green, correct. Ryan Green.
Back to take a snap. He hands it off to
Jeremiah
number 17,
Caraway.
Jeremiah Caraway. He's going to bob his way all the way up to the 18-yard line. This will bring up a 3rd and 11 here. Goswick's going to check back in.
You know what's amazing is that, you think about stats. One reason why that defense was so pumped up, Nate, in that stop down there in the red zone in the less than 2 centimeter zone was the fact that they still, right now, are very close to being 10 quarters keeping their opponents scoreless.
That's impressive.
Very impressive.
That is so impressive. 3rd and 12 here for Union Pines. Definitely in 2-down territory. When you have a leg like Con, I think it might be a little well, we're within distance for John.
I think so.
Goswick's looking back.
Oh, he's open. No, overthrew him.
Overthrew his wide receiver there. Number 16 on the attempt to leak Graham was the receiver that was targeted there. This will bring up a 4th and 12. First major decision here for head coach Brian Till.
I think Brian Till, here he comes. Our boy. This is the first field goal attempt by Kel John this season. He is 14 of 14 on PATs. I believe he has 4 touchbacks on the season, maybe 5. But here we go. What's the yardage? Nate, it's set up at the 18.
He's going to be
kicking from the 25.
So it's a 35-yarder.
Yep. He's got this. I'm telling you, Nate, he's got it.
He's got the leg for it. We've seen the leg for it. Let's see if we can put the whole moving part train together here. Snap is a little low. Hold is good. Kick is up.
It's good.
Kick is
good.
good. That makes it 24-0 Union Pines Vikings. Great kick by Cale John. We're going to take a quick break and be back for the kickoff.
Are you ready to sell your home and don't know which realtor to choose? Well, not all realtors are the same. I'm Crystal Copas, and I don't just stick a sign in the yard, throw it in the MLS, and hope to collect a commission. I provide a customized marketing plan that includes professional staging, photography, videography, and drone at no cost to you. Contact me, Crystal Copas, with RE/MAX Real Estate Service, and let's get your house sold. 919-356-5402 or visit me at crystalcopas.com.
Welcome back to Cameron, North Carolina. You're listening to the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Legacy Construction. Union Pines Vikings just put up a 35-yarder to make it 24-0. 104 left to go in the first half here. If you're Union Pines and Brian Till, short of your first drive that you punted the ball off that you then recovered, they have scored on every drive since then. So great start for your Union Pines Vikings. I like this Viking team, Don.
It is so do I, Nate. Look at that kick. Look at that.
That kick
is
a
touchback.
Boomer.
Boom. Wow, I love that kid, boy. Telling you. Yeah, Nate, we talk about it a lot, and we're going to talk about it at the RE/MAX halftime show, more about this community. We're going to talk more about this the atmosphere here that you see. You just don't see this type of atmosphere at every football stadium that you go to in high school. And I also want to talk to you a little bit later. When is the new realignment going to happen?
Next year. This is it. This is the last year for the SAC.
Okay.
They're going to a 7-tier alignment
That's
system.
exactly right. Yep. Mm-hmm. But it's still going to be split, though, right? For this conference.
Right now, it's all projections. The state has not put anything out yet official. It's all speculation, but right now it does look split. Number 5 on the toss there, Braden Kearns. He's going to be wrapped up by a group of Vikings short of the line of play there. Will bring up a 2nd and 10.5.
Headed up by number 20, Damari Johnson. Again, an underclassman defensive back making an impact on the field.
We'll bring up 2nd and 10. Yeah, so they're talking about a 7-tier system, 7A system. And all the projections I've seen from guys who are a lot more in the know than myself still have a split conference here, kind of in this Moore County, Lee County There's discussion about rolling in some Cumberland County, potentially some Harnett County. So who knows? I'd love to see a conference with Southern Lee County, maybe some Northwood, some Union Pines.
I was going to say, I'd like to see a little Chatham County coming in.
Yeah, Harnett Central, Triton, maybe a Douglasburg.
Oh, trickery.
We're going to go Savion James taken down at the 24-yard line. Big hit from the Union Pines Vikings. Number 7 on the hill,
a sophomore.
Sandler.
Another underclassman, Nate, making a big impact. Josiah Sandler, I love it. I love to see this from these young underclassmen coming out here on a big night in front of a lot of fans, family, and friends.
That is an old wing tee play called the old crisscross for all of our old wing tee Delaware fans.
Well,
made famous by the original coach of the wing tee. He was a young man when he came up with. His name was Chuck Klausing.
And you've met Chuck Klausing, did you not?
I met Chuck Klausing many, many moons ago at a wing tee camp, and he is since deceased, I'm sure. But I think he was like 90 when I met him, and I was, 15. So that was 19 years ago now. So Manning on the keep there. He's going to make one miss. Then he's going to be brought down for a gain of 4 there.
So let me ask you a question, Nate.
Yes, sir.
In 2024, as we stand here today, does a team run the wing tee on purpose or because they have to?
No, it's completely purposeful. That's going to be the end of the half. That is 24-0 Union Pines Vikings. We're going to take a quick break, be back for a very brief RE/MAX halftime show, and then we're going to let you watch the band.
Are you ready to sell your home and don't know which realtor to choose? Well, not all realtors are the same. I'm Crystal Copas, and I don't just stick a sign in the yard, throw it in the MLS, and hope to collect a commission. I provide a customized marketing plan that includes professional staging, photography, videography, and drone at no cost to you. Contact me, Crystal Copas, with RE/MAX Real Estate Service, and let's get your house sold. 919-356-5402 or visit me at crystalcopas.com.
Welcome to the RE/MAX Real Estate Service halftime show, brought to you by New Image Media, only on the NFHS Network.
Welcome back to Cameron, North Carolina. You're watching the RE/MAX halftime show. RE/MAX, one of my favorite people in the all-time world, Crystal Copas, is the lady, the
legend,
boss, the boss, the legend of RE/MAX here in the local 3 counties. So definitely go see Crystal Copas and her crew there on Steel Street in Sanford for any of your real estate needs. All right, we're one half in. It's 24-0 Union Pines against Western Harnett. Don, tell us a little bit what you've seen so far.
As expected. We see Western Harnett coming out, running the ball, pounding it up the middle of the line of scrimmage. Their O-line is looking great, but unfortunately, they don't have a lot of kids to play with. They don't have a lot of subs, and so they're kind of getting worn down a little bit. Penalties has hurt them. They have 0 points to show for it. They did get the ball down to the 1 centimeter line, but for Union Pines, they maintain a season where they have left their opponents scoreless, 10 full quarters, 2 games and a half. So we'll see if that continues in the third and fourth quarter of this ball game, but they're up 24-0.
If you take out the first drive from Union Pines, their offense has been able to do whatever they've wanted. Their first drive was a 4th down punt that then bounced off of Western Harnett blocker. It wasn't even the returner. It was a blocker. And Union Pines has scored every drive since then and has really had their will with this Western Harnett defense. Western Harnett offense here, 2 turnovers, 2 turnover on downs. So definitely want to clean that up. So let's talk about some of the stars, some of the standouts so far for this first half. With Union Pines, I think first and foremost on the defense, Harley Moyer. Mm-hmm. Harley Moyer is always a game-time player. And then sophomore linebacker Josiah Sandler, we've called his name quite a bit. Talk to us a little bit who you've seen so far on this Union Pines defense.
On the Union Pines defense, I mean, Harley Moyer, you mentioned it. I think that he is definitely a guy that's coming out that's a beast of a player. But, man, I'm going to have to give it up to, again, number 75, Carter Herring, because there was one play during the game where he absolutely laid out one of the most popular human beings on the field, and that was one of the coaches on the Union Pine staff. So give it up for Carter Herring right there with a great tackle. But seriously, though, Carter plays both sides of the ball.
Right.
But, really excited for that young man, and I think he's played well.
On the Union Pines offensive side, led wholeheartedly by number 12 Anthony Goswick, has done a great job. Been really a true senior leader so far on this offensive half. Couple of bad snaps. He kept them. He ran. He found green space. He's made some good throws, made good decisions on some quarterback reads. So overall, I think first half offense player game, I think is Anthony Goswick. He has done everything that anyone could ask of him.
I totally agree with that. Anthony Goswick made a couple of very cerebral plays there during the game, and just a really good, strong athlete all around. But, I also have to give it over for Jonah Thies. I think that he's playing well. And you're also the wide receiver, what's his name, McCormick, McLaughlin. What's the kid's name?
John Arguizo?
No, sorry. But you got to give it to Jeremiah Caraway. But McGargo's my guy. Sincere McGargo. Yeah, he's really played well tonight. And the first two games of the season, he was definitely the target for Goswick. But tonight, Goswick has went to him several times, and he has had, I believe, one reception for a touchdown. So good for that young man.
Also, Haynes Tobias coming in has done a great job with a couple of big receptions, one going all the way to the end zone. Now let's talk about Western Harnett. This offense has really kind of had their way with Union Pines. If they can hold on to the ball, they've been able to do some stuff, led by number 7, A.J. Manning. But who stood out to me is Savion James, number 25. When that young man finds green grass, he really goes for it. What do you see from the Western Harnett offense?
I'm going to give the player of the half of the Western Harnett offense all the way to the O-line. I think the O-line has played really well. They've played hard. They fought well. They have 0 points to show for it, but they have moved the ball some. Unfortunately, because of penalties and turnovers, they haven't been able to get far into the UP side of the field.
Very good. Anything else to add before we get to second? Oh, let's talk about the community. We were talking earlier about the community, and we want to go ahead and kind of touch base on this. So what a lot of people don't know, if you've never been in the inner workings of an athletic department, a vast majority of your athletic budget comes from two things, with one of it being about 40% of your budget, and that is high school football. High school football, if you have a good team, it covers about 40% of your athletic budget is your gate money. So not only if you come out and you support your Union Pines Vikings in one of the coolest places to watch high school football in the state of North Carolina, not only are you supporting the football players, the bands, the cheerleaders, all of that sort of stuff, but you're also helping the less watched, the less even entrance feed sports like cross country, tennis, golf, some of those sports. So make sure you come out, even if your kid doesn't play football or isn't a cheerleader or a dancer or a color guard twirling the flags. Come watch them because this sets the tone for everyone through the year.
So I have a question on that. You had mentioned it earlier. Is every school the same or some schools different? So you mentioned ticket sales, particularly going to support the programs, but also what about concessions? Is there a percentage? What percentage goes to the athletic department versus the boosters, and what's the difference?
So that all depends on the school that you're in. And a lot of it's set up on how the athletic budget and the booster budget and what is pulled from what fund of money, right? So I don't know how Union Pines has theirs set up. It's not my business to know, to be honest. Their business is not my business. But like when I was working at the previous high school that I worked at, no money from the concession stand went directly to the athletic department. It all went to the booster club, and it was used to supplement all of the sports throughout the year.
Yep.
So usually they're kind of standalone, but you'll see some of the big major time groups where they'll actually come and say, hey, we want to work the concession stand, and the athletic budget will get 10%, 20%, whatever it might be, whatever they wheel and deal into it.
Got it. Thanks for that, Nate. Always great having a coach here with us calling the plays because you get some great insight and insight that you can only get here on the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Legacy Construction, residential and commercial. With that, we're going to listen to this award-winning band, and we're going to be right back for the third quarter kickoff.
Are you ready to sell your home and don't know which realtor to choose? Well, not all realtors are the same. I'm Crystal Copas, and I don't just stick a sign in the yard, throw it in the MLS, and hope to collect a commission. I provide a customized marketing plan that includes professional staging, photography, videography, and drone at no cost to you. Contact me, Crystal Copas, with RE/MAX Real Estate Service, and let's get your house sold. 919-356-5402 or visit me at crystalcopas.com.
Legacy Commercial and Residential Construction. From concept to design, constructed to fit your lifestyle. We use only top quality finishes to make our house your home. Legacy Commercial and Residential Construction. The Sandhills residential and commercial builder of choice. Vascular Institute of the Pines opened in June of 2022 with a commitment to our families, community, and patients. Dr. Leah Hirschman is a board-certified vascular surgeon with over 15 years of experience. Patient satisfaction starts with establishing a personal relationship with each patient. Aesthetics and wellness is our goal at Vascular Institute of the Pines. We have the solution to your vascular and cosmetic needs. Vascular Institute of the Pines, located in the heart of Pinehurst at 6 Regional Drive, Suite C, Pinehurst, North Carolina, 28374. Or visit us on our socials. God called us to serve, so let us treat you like VIP at the Vascular Institute of the Pines. Four Seasons is the heating and air solution here in the Sand Hills. We service residential, commercial, and new construction. Four Seasons Heating and Air personally answers your call to ensure the highest level of customer service. One call, and our highly skilled technicians will be at your door ready to serve. For 7 years and counting, Four Seasons has been named the best of the Pines. We're doing business like it was done 40 years ago, one customer at a time. So call us today at 910-235-0606. Four Seasons Heating and Air. Get comfortable with us. Jen Ritchie at Everything Pines is a trusted real estate professional with over a decade of experience. Jennifer showcases the Sandhills with new construction neighborhoods in the Union Pines district. Passionate about representing quality new construction homes in proud neighborhoods full of Viking pride. The Reserve, Camp Easter Cottages, and Little River Run. For more information, visit everythingpinespartners.com.
Rise Up More, a new youth tackle football league in Moore County. We believe football is a catalyst to improve the mental and physical wellness of children and their families in all of Moore County by providing safe opportunities for all youth to learn tackle football. Kids will begin their development as athletes and learn the skills they need to achieve success in life as they prepare to lead the next generation. Are you ready to join us? For more information and for corporate sponsorships, visit riseupmore.com. Resilience, integrity, social intelligence, emotional regulation. Rise Up More. Subscribe today at riseupmore.com.
Buy your next new or used car the way you want to buy with the Pinehurst Toyota Smart Buy program. Visit pinehursttoyota.com and choose or build the vehicle you want. Try the Pinehurst Toyota Smart Buy. It's the easiest way to buy your next new or used car.
Welcome back, everyone, to Cameron, North Carolina, home of your Union Pines Vikings. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Legacy Construction, Residential Commercial. Union Pines Vikings came out to a great first half, 24-0 over the Western Harnett Eagles here. Union Pines, 10 quarters down, no points given up on the season. That's a great start. Brian Till has to be thrilled here with his Union Pines Vikings.
He absolutely has to be thrilled with his Vikings. Again, just a couple of penalties there that you wish you could have back, but otherwise. All right, fielded at the 4-yard line. Here we go.
John on the kickoff. Oh, taken down. Big hit. Your release guy who's trailing it the entire way, number 15,
Lawson
Fields on the big hit for the Vikings.
Yeah, I love it. Oh,
Western
that feels
Harnett
good.
really never set up their blocking scheme. Woo, down starting on their own 16-yard line. That is not 17-yard line, excuse me. That is not where you wanted to start the beginning of the second half.
You know, as a young man, when you go to high school and all throughout the week, you are in the classroom, you are studying, you're dealing with all the girl drama, you're dealing with all the friend drama, you're at home, you have a side job, you have practice, you got two-a-days, and then to come out on Friday night and lay somebody out like Lawson Field, do you feel good?
There's nothing better, nothing better. Manning back at quarterback, toss to number 4. We're going to have a hold on this one. It's going to come back. Kean Rucker on the carry there. Gain of 4, but it's all going to be negated. White hat through the flag. It's in the land. What was that? Illegal shift here for the Western Harnett Eagles. That will be a 5-yard penalty. Should be a repeat of first down.
So as we're waiting here for Whitehat to figure it out, tell me a little bit about what do you think about Dabo Sweeney and the transfer portal and sticking to his guns and not going in it? And then what about the other coaches? You know, of course, Nick Saban got out of coaching mainly because of all that's going on right now. Do you think that you can be successful as a powerhouse school without going into the transfer portal?
I think to date we have not seen anyone be successful with it. Dabo has really stuck to his guns that he's going to recruit kids out of high school and junior colleges and pick them up and do it the traditional way. And I think we're seeing the outcome of that with the Clemson product put on the field. I think Dabo might be on his way out because they're not used.
And unless he begins to adapt, you know, you can stand on your rock for a long time, but there are a lot of coaches. It's just like Coach K, for example. Coach K for a long time said, I'm not doing one and done. You're going to be here for 4 years. You're going to graduate until, guess what, he did one and done.
Until he did it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, what a world. Coming into the season, I thought Dabo was potentially on the hot seat for the first coach to be let go because if they dropped a couple games early, that could be it. After watching Florida State, I have changed my opinion on that. They're on the carry, pushed out of bounds by number 7, Josiah Sandler.
And finished up, Caleb Milton, number 4.
Caleb Milton again on. We talked about him time and time again as coming into the second quarter. Be interested to see why he sat out the first. That'll bring up a 2nd and 8 here for Union Pines.
For Western. 2nd and 8 for Western.
2nd and 8 for Western?
You said it's 2nd and 8 for Union Pines, 2nd and 8 for Western Harnett.
Sorry, 2nd and 8 for I really blanked out there. My mistake. 2nd and 8 for the Eagles. White hat blew it for some reason. He's got we have a uniform infraction. Big number 72 from Union Pines coming off. Number 72, Sam Wells, senior, 6'3", 290. That is a big young man.
Looks like we're going to have a timeout on the field. Looks like it's an official timeout there, Nate.
Oh, we're going to have a timeout. White Hat's talking to head coach Brian Till. We'll take a quick break to hear from our sponsors and be back for the snap.
The only thing real in this video is the new Mr. Beast box at Zaxby's. This restaurant, it's a green screen. The ground I'm walking on, it's a treadmill. Me? I'm not Mr. Beast.
I'm Chandler. Go get the new Mr. Beast box at Zaxby's. It has Feastables.
Your next new or used car the way you want to buy with the Pinehurst Toyota Smart Buy program. Visit PinehurstToyota.com and choose or build the vehicle you want. Try the Pinehurst Toyota Smart Buy. It's the easiest way to buy your next new or used car.
Welcome back to Cameron, North Carolina. Don, you were just talking about your days as a PA as they're blaring a song that blared when I was playing high school football many, many moons ago, back in the day when you used to have to maybe or maybe not have downloaded on LimeWire or Napster and put in a CD in a big boom box in a locker room.
The biggest thing, Chris, is that you always had to make sure it was you always had to make sure that it was the clean version.
Yeah, you're right, Don. We should have done that. No, you're absolutely right. There's no place for foul language in high school sports,
the biggest
sports,
thing,
professional sports,
the biggest
people's
thing,
mouths in general.
The biggest thing, Nate, was the fact that you had before you could get there as the PA guy, right? The kids were on the field practicing. And the kids inevitably would say, hey, Coach, can I go put some music on my phone over the loudspeakers? I promise it's clean. And then you pull up in the parking lot, and it's anything but.
And it's not. And it's not clean. Yeah. Kids will be kids.
And they are still talking out there.
What is happening here? Are they trying to figure out what
So
teams they're playing? Because that's what I was trying to.
Trickling down. And how do you – first, I've got several questions I want to ask you as a coach. How do you compensate underage children?
I'm a pretty firm stance on this that you don't. High school sports, in my mind, and I'm a high school football junkie. So let's preface everyone at home listening, I'm a high school football junkie. I am not even a football junkie. I'm a high school football junkie. I've watched very little college games, very little pro games. I just love high school football. I don't think it has any place in high school because this is the last, in my opinion, the last pure level of football played. When you get into college, it's a business. Anyone who's been a college athlete can 100% vouch that college sports is nothing more than a business. This whole concept of student athlete with the NCAA, hey, I don't report to them anymore, so I can say whatever I want. It's a joke. The word student athlete was only brought up so they didn't have to give them workers' compensation protection as athletes with their sports. It's a complete malarkey, in my opinion. So at high school, this is the last pure sport. These are kids that have grown up together for the most part. You know, being so close to Fort Liberty, there are some transfers in and out due to PCS papers and whatnot, which we also have in Lee County. But for the most part, these young men have been playing football. They started with Pop Warner football with these kids or other programs like it. They worked their ways up through the middle schools. They've worked their ways up to high school. These young men are brothers. Like, I still talk to some of the guys that I played football with on a weekly basis. These young men have gone through probably the most strenuous thing that most of these young kids have ever gone through has happened around football. The most physically strenuous, at times emotionally. This is the last true brotherhood of sports, in my opinion, is the high school level. And I think the NIL, if you start doing it where you're chasing money, all of a sudden you've got the best player on the field tonight running down to IMG Academy to sign with, Joe Blow Sneaker Company for $1 million a game. All of a sudden, IMG's got every game on TV, and absolutely no hate on IMG Academy at all. I think what they do there is fantastic. I'm just using them as an example because everyone knows them. But it is one of those where this is pure. This is pure football. This is some of the best times these young men will ever have is on the high school football field. Anyone who played, anyone who went on to play at the next level can tell you there's very few people that loved college football more than they loved high school football. And I think you start throwing big money at it, especially the big money that some of these folks are getting today, I think it ruins it.
Well said. Very much appreciate that monologue there, Chris. But every ounce of what you just said, I echo. And it's unfortunate what you're seeing trickle down. And the question is, how far does it trickle? And how does it affect the parents who want their child to get that money grab early and not having playing time? And how does it affect the coaching staff and the transfers going on now that you see in college with all the transferring? So not sure what the huge delay was there, Chris, but it looks like we're back to live action. Nate.
Here we go. Western Harnett, Manning under center here. Double tight wing set. Now they're going to be checking. All right, number 4 in motion, Keon Rucker. It's going to be a quarterback. It's going to be all the way down to the 29-yard line, but we do have a flag downfield. It's in the territory of holding, would be my guess what this flag will be.
I wish we could get some kind of explanation as to what was the major delay there, but T.J. Robinson checking in for the Vikings there.
Let's see what old White Hat signals here. The cheerleaders doing their tumbles that they generally do in the 1 or two cheerleaders. We're both
one.
One. Okay.
One. Yep. Yep. One was a cheerleader, now a junior at East Carolina University. Not cheering in college. She left that behind in high school, as do most athletes do. They leave their unless you're going to be on some sort of like I was on some sort of intramural squad.
Right. Of course. Of course. That young lady just backflipped half the freaking field. That always amazed me. I think I might have puked. Anyway, so it must have been a defensive penalty there. I don't think we ever saw. So was it a face mask? Face mask penalty from our cameraman, Tim Hare. That will bring up a 2nd and 5 here for the Eagles.
I want to give a shout-out to our producer, Brandon Hillis, here tonight with us again at Union Pines. As the Vikings are up 24-0 here in the third quarter, Nate, looking to make it an undefeated season as they head into Randleman next week. We'll be at Randleman and hoping to end the
so that would be a really fun game to watch for sure. So everyone tune in. I'm sure Spencer Patterson and Don Clayton will be on the call.
Unless Chris is there.
Manning's going to keep it. Oh, and he is on for a gain of 2 there.
Josiah Sandler, again, an underclassman and he's had several key plays tonight. And as we talked about, we are now heading into the 11th quarter where the Vikings have kept the opposing team scoreless.
One thing we're seeing is the down marker is broken. The down marker holder, that's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Will bring up a 4th and short here for the Eagles.
They were probably waiting on a replacement earlier. And
that's exactly what I bet it was. The down marker is now lifting it up over his head during the time of play. That young man's
that's old school. I like that. That's old
his
school.
His shoulders going to be tired by the end of this ball game. I can tell you that.
Oh, come on. You can do it.
Western Harnett not looking like they're going to punt here. Manning's getting the call in from head coach Mike James. Coming in back, bringing it back to the huddle. 4th and 2 here for the Eagles. They've had 2 turnovers on downs already for the night. Union Pines Vikings will be taking over if they can stop this, marching towards the 40-yard line of the Eagles. So great field position if Union Pines can get a stop here. Western Harnett wanting to put together a good run. They put Rucker in motion.
Looks that Union Pines might have jumped.
Penalty on the Eagles. That'll march them back 5. I don't know if I'm having a memory lapse or what, but what is double-crossed arms over the chest? I don't remember what that symbol is. Nonetheless, brings up a 4th and 7 here for the Eagles. West Harnett still not bringing on a punt crew. I don't know if they even have a punt crew, I guess. I don't know. Manning bringing the play in. They're going to have to start watching this clock, though. The back judge should start lifting that arm pretty soon. Number 4 in motion. Rucker in motion. He's handed off. He's going to try to get to the edge. He is stopped by the containment man. That's going to be another turnover on downs for the Eagles. Union Pine's going to take over on Western Harnett's 38-yard line. Looking for some quick points here. Break this game up to 30 with a chance at 31.
So we're going to have a score update here. It looks like Southern Lee is scoreless against Eastern, 15-0. That game is, I believe, midway in the 4th quarter. So senior quarterback Robbie Sims obviously struggling a little bit tonight. Coach Fred Blanks has done a wonderful job in getting that program back on track.
Burton Cates, the 2nd winningest coach in North Carolina high school football history, behind the coach that was at Clinton High School for many, many years.
Clinton High School is, we have someone in the booth here with us tonight who was an all-star at Clinton High School. Mr. Tim Hare is one of our cameramen here tonight who is certainly knows a little something about this team, this game playing in Sampson County in Clinton.
In Clinton, the Dark Horses. And I don't know if I've ever told Mr. Hare this or not, but my cousin, my first cousin, my mom's brother's son, was an all-state pitcher for the Dark Horses back in the mid-2000s. Goswick back. He's going to keep it and run. He's got some green space.
Touchdown.
I don't know. That's an early. Yep. Nope. He's going to be pushed out. No, they're going to call it. That's a touchdown. Goswick kept it. Nobody downfield to throw it to, so he decides to hold on to it. That is a senior quarterback play, Don.
Yes, it is. It's, again, another cerebral play there by young man Anthony Goswick. And just you have to love that. And what I really like about it is that his vision and his focus down the field and really ran strong just like he should. And it looked like he picked up a little bit of speed there, Nate, as he was running and saw a couple of Eagles chasing him as he runs it in. Now, we've got our guy killed, John. I believe this would be 14 of 14. Are my numbers right here?
I've been tracking. He's currently 14 of 14. So if this is up and if it's good, that'll be 15 for 15. We'll take a quick break. Union Pines up 31 against Western Harnett with 0. We'll take a quick break here from our sponsors.
Legacy Commercial and Residential Construction. From concept to design, constructed to fit your lifestyle. We use only top quality finishes to make our house your home. Legacy Commercial and Residential Construction. The Sand Hills residential and commercial builder of choice.
Buy your next new or used car the way you want to buy with the Pinehurst Toyota Smart Buy program. Visit PinehurstToyota.com and choose or build the vehicle you want. Try the Pinehurst Toyota Smart Buy. It's the easiest way to buy your next new or used car.
Welcome back to the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Legacy Construction. Don was just giving me PTSD talking about New Year's Eve, a drunk driver smashing into the front entrance of my neighborhood, crashing our big brick sign, which I'm very thankful for that brick sign because I'm the first house in that neighborhood, and that car was aimed directly towards my son's bedroom, and I actually have that crash on video on one of my security cameras.
Wow.
So, yeah, my security cameras actually caught that drunk driver, which we 100% do not support.
No.
So everyone at home, if you decide to have a drink, stay home,
Yep.
Uber, call a friend, call a taxi,
Yep.
get a bicycle.
Yep.
I don't care what you do. Do not drink and drive. I would like my kid's bedroom not to be crashed in, please.
Awful. You know what? You should submit that on YouTube or something, or America's Funniest. Well, I don't guess that was funny, but
I handed it over to the police department when I woke up to go to church that next morning, and there were 4 police cars currently sitting in my driveway. I was a little concerned. It's not something you want to wake up to, but City of Sanford Police has that footage. Hand off to Savion James. He makes 1 miss, makes 2 misses. Then he's caught up by a group of Vikings. He's going to have a gain of 3 there. This will bring up a 2nd and 7 or 8. That poor down marker.
yeah. You know, I tell you.
What a dad. What a dad.
Absolutely a dad. That or a faculty member. But I will tell you that, you know, you talk about the kids of Western Harnett. You talk about the cheerleaders of Western Harnett. Talk about the coaches, but the fans, the parents, okay, the grandparents, the parents that are out there that travel with this team and watch this team every Friday night. It's got to be disheartening, but at what point do you as a parent or grandparent are just out there to watch your child and not necessarily the team? Because at some point it becomes about individualism when you have a record like they do, and there's really no sense of promise in their future.
Whew. I don't know. I don't know, Don. That's tough. I guess I wouldn't really know how to answer that until I've been in the situation. And
we talked about
that's tough.
Yeah, we talked about potentially returning to coaching, and you said that may be in your future at some point. And understand why. I know I coached my son in basketball and baseball. It's bittersweet.
Yeah, I hung up my whistle many years ago. Now been on the broadcast. I think this is year 7 for me, and but I tell you, I know my personality. I know the dangers of football. You know, I still go get my annual brain scans. I've got some knee injuries. I've got some back injuries. I've got some scars from playing ball in my life. Tim Hare beside me as well also he went on and played college ball. He can tell you just as well as anyone else can all the woes of it. But I'll tell you, I wouldn't change it for a world. Tim and I were actually talking about this last week. If you told me all these aches and pains and surgeries and scans that I would have to go through, would I still play football? And that answer is a hard yes. There's not even a question. No hesitation. Manning going to be on the quarterback keep, trying to get outside. They're going to have to do something here.
I think he got the first down there, Nate.
Western Harnett's going to have to do something here. Union Pines is really starting to pin their ears back and get after it. This should be another, I don't know.
No, that is a turnover on downs.
That's another turnover on downs. That makes 4 for the night for the Eagles. I tell you, though, Don, I know my personality. If my son ever shows an interest in football, which it is what it is. If he ever shows interest and they start tackling, I know there's only going to be one person, maybe 3 that I would trust to coach my kid in football to tackle. Myself being one of them, Rob Patterson, who's a linebacker coach at Pinecrest, and Ed Burgess, who's a defensive line coach. Those would be about the 3 guys I would trust to teach my kid.
You had a little bit of a hesitation. I kind of chuckled a little bit when you mentioned about, not sure about your son. And I don't know if that has anything to do with your wife maybe playing football.
No, that's a me thing. That's not a her thing.
Okay, gotcha. Well, you know what? Here's why I said it's bittersweet. When you coach your own child, the fact that it's bittersweet is the fact that you typically are a lot harder on your child. Your child doesn't typically get a fair shake. A lot of times people think, well, it's your coach's son. Well, sometimes there's some favoritism for sure. But when I was coaching my child, my son, I was harder on my son than I was any other player. And I made it more difficult. I put more red tape in front of my son than I did the other kids. So it's bittersweet.
I understand 100%. Patterson on the carry. He puts the ball on the ground. Interesting to see. Looks like Union Pines recovered it.
So, once again, that's Jaden Street on the carry, number 23.
Sorry, 23, Jaden Street,
yep.
Not Roger Patterson.
Right. He did keep possession, so it's now, is it third down or second? I guess it's third down.
Third down and 8 here for the Union Pines Vikings. The offense has kind of stalled a little bit on this series.
Just over 5 minutes to go in the third.
Be interesting to see if Goswick runs that run-out levels play that they ran earlier to Haynes Tobias that ended up in the touchdown.
Well, it's not going to be because we have Ryan Green checking in back in the game for the quarterback with Union Pines. Yep. In the shotgun, you got Ryan Green back to pass, throws it very low, incomplete.
This brings up a 4th and 8 here for Union Pines. Interesting what they do here. Do they go for another field goal? This one would be a little bit longer. They'd end up setting up at about the 33, so make it about a 43-yarder. Looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field here.
And they're going to keep Ryan Green on the field.
Where's Goswick? Is he on the sideline? I'm not currently seeing him.
I
didn't see him.
Yeah, he's right here on the left.
Helmet still on his hand?
On his head.
On his head. Helmet's still there. All right. So probably not hanging it up yet. It'd be a little early to make that call. 31-0. 5:02 left to go in the third quarter. Green drops back, looking, throws it. Number 2's wide open.
Touchdown.
That's a touchdown.
What a great catch.
John Arguiza.
I told you, another underclassman stepping up on this team. John Arguiza, only a sophomore. Great catch. What a great throw by Ryan Green.
Great throw by junior quarterback Ryan Green. Ladies and gentlemen, you might be seeing a combination that you'll see a good bit next year as well. And looking at Don's phone being nosy, looks like the Green Bay Packers down in Sao Paulo, Brazil, are currently up on the Eagles. Does that cause you a little bit of heartburn at the moment?
Nope, because the Eagles are driving. They're down at the Green Bay 17 as we speak.
There we go. Kick is up. Kick is good. That makes him 16 for 16.
Wow.
We're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsor. We'll be back for the kickoff.
Buy your next new or used car the way you want to buy with the Pinehurst Toyota Smart Buy program. Visit PinehurstToyota.com and choose or build the vehicle you want. Try the Pinehurst Toyota Smart Buy. It's the easiest way to buy your next new or used car.
The only thing real in this video is the new Mr. Beast box at Zaxby's. This restaurant, it's a green screen. The ground I'm walking on, it's a treadmill. Me? I'm not Mr. Beast.
I'm Chandler. Go get the new Mr. Beast box at Zaxby's. It has Feastables.
Welcome back to the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Legacy Construction. For all of our fans at home, some of you know this, some of you might not. In the state of North Carolina, when a team is up by 42 points, it makes it a running clock. Clock will not stop running for anything other than an injury. So we're getting one score away from Union Pines. If Western Harnett doesn't put one in here, booming kick, going to find its way to a touchback.
I believe that's his 4th touchback of the night.
I should have been tracking that. I apologize. I should have been tracking that.
Yeah, it's his 3rd or 4th at least. But you're right. We're 4 points away from a running clock, and the only thing that can stop a running clock is an injury or a broken stick, measuring stick. Oh, my word. You know, it's not easy calling and being on top of your game on Friday nights after you've had a super long week. You know, you're traveling, you're in airplanes, this and that. But, man, it is so nice to be able to come here to a community like this and watch a wonderful Friday night football game.
Usually when you see a team get up 38-0, you know, at this point we know the outcome of what this ball game is going to be. We don't know the final score, but we basically know where the outcome is going to be. Savion James is going to get ahead of steam here. He's going to be dragged down at the 34-yard line. Harley Moyer on the tackle with an ankle grab. And there it is. The Eagles just scored. Makes it 14-12 down in Brazil. And I don't pay for Peacock. I refuse. So I can't pull it up on one of my 2 phones, the work phone and the personal phone. This is going to bring up a 2nd and 2 here for Union Pines.
So a little bit of trivia. What was the call signs for Peacock before it was Peacock?
I have no idea.
NBC.
So Peacock is a subsidy of NBC?
Peacock is NBC. Because remember, NBC's logo was the Peacock.
Was the Peacock. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football for 100 years.
That's right. So, yep. So I was telling you, so Peacock's their streaming option. So I was telling you that we were talking a little bit about, you know, when you have your kids playing and coaching your kids and so forth. And one of the things that, like I said, bittersweet. Oh, what a great tackle there. Open field tackle made by
number 51,
wow.
Grayson Theus.
Yeah, Grayson Theus. Yeah, absolutely. And Grayson is a senior linebacker there. So a loss of 2 yards.
It was Savion James on the carries. So Peacock.
Yeah. So you know, you talk about the Macarena, very good. You know, I was asking. It's funny because I was asking Spencer Patterson the other day. I said, you know, if I paid you $100 to go down there to do the Macarena, would you do the Macarena? And I was surprised he even knew how to do the Macarena. That's old school.
That's old school.
We did the Macarena at my wedding back in 1996.
We used to do it rolling around the skating rink in Kendale for those old Sanford Indians.
What happened to the skating rink?
It is now.
Did it burn?
No, that was the bowling alley.
Yeah, the bowling alley burned.
Next door burned, and I believe someone went to jail for that.
I think it was an insurance something.
Yeah, I believe it might have been
little arson going on.
Little something. No, the bowling alley is now a mechanical company's warehouse.
It's sad because the community could sure use a bowling alley.
No kidding. I love bowling.
Oh, yeah.
And as a kid, I loved the skating rink.
Never could skate. No way. Don't want to be on skates. No, not for me. Not for me.
My first kiss may or may not have been on the backside of that skating rink.
Anthony looks like he's done for the night, and I don't disagree with this. He's got his helmet off there on the sideline. John Agrees had come by, getting his helmet back on to go in. Again, another sophomore, low to the ground. So I was coaching my son in basketball, and it was the championship game, basketball middle school championship game. And it was our rival, and we were losing down by 3. And
look,
they jumped. They jumped, but they caught it right there. So we're losing by 3. Okay, it's just about 2 minutes left to go in the needed to make a switch of some sort. My son sets up for a 3-point shot. Right before he releases the ball, I call a timeout.
No.
Ball goes in. He nails the 3. a complete turnaround. That would have been a complete turnaround and momentum switch. It would have tied it back up, got our momentum back. He looked at me. My heart sank because the ref said, nope, no good, timeout, coach. We ended up losing the game. It's moments like that when it's your child and you're the coach and you're the play caller. It's just, it hurts that much more.
Yeah. Roll out pass there.
You'll see.
Roll out pass tip there to number 32. I'm not ready for that heartbreak. No name on the roster.
Folks.
Sorry to number 32, whose mom and dad who might be at home watching.
How much time do we have left here in the third quarter?
1:29 left to go here in the third.
All right, folks, don't forget to stay tuned for the Jen Ritchie Everything Pines postgame coming up after the game. We still have 1 quarter to go, 38-0 here in Cameron, North Carolina, as the Union Pine Vikings are up. And coming out on the field for Union Pines, it's going to be first down and 10, is quarterback number 11, Ian Hicks. So Ryan Green got his touchdown pass, and now here's the third string, Ian Hicks, coming in for UP. Hands it off to number 34, Tyler Thomas.
Tyler Thomas finding a good hole, going to run up for a gain of about 9 here, bring up a 2nd and 1 on the Western Harnett 35-yard line.
So you've got the QBs. You got Anthony, who's a senior, and his 2 backups who will be playing next year. Ryan Green, who's 5'6", was smaller QB, and Ian Hicks, who is 6 foot. Anthony's only 5'10". So Ian Hicks here now for UP. And number 34, again, Tyler Thomas setting up in the backfield.
I do wonder how much longer before we're going to start seeing 8-quarter kids.
I'm sorry, start seeing what, Nate?
8-quarter kids. So in the state of North Carolina, at least when I coached, and I'm not completely up to date on changes they're made, you could bring up to 6 JV football players, and they could play in 8 quarters of a varsity football game and still keep their JV eligibility. And you have to declare them at the beginning of the season. So you actually have to name before first varsity kickoff, because varsities usually play a week before JVs do. And you have to declare them early. You have to submit paperwork to the state, and you have to track it. And when they get in, you have to submit a form. That is actually the other high school in Moore County. That is actually what got them banned from playoffs for a year and a season nullified, was improper 8-quarter paperwork.
Okay.
So Union Pines is going to get a first down there. Clock's going to hit triple zeros. We're going to take a quick break and be back for the 4th quarter.
Buy your next new or used car the way you want to buy with the Pinehurst Toyota Smart Buy program. Visit PinehurstToyota.com and choose or build the vehicle you want. Try the Pinehurst Toyota Smart Buy. It's the easiest way to buy your next new or used car.
Are you ready to sell your home and don't know which realtor to choose? Well, not all realtors are the same. I'm Crystal Copas, and I don't just stick a sign in the yard, throw it in the MLS, and hope to collect a commission. I provide a customized marketing plan that includes professional staging, photography, videography, and drone at no cost to you. Contact me, Crystal Copas, with RE/MAX Real Estate Service, and let's get your house sold. 919-356-5402 or visit me at crystalcopas.com.
The only thing real in this video is the new Mr. Beast box at Zaxby's. This restaurant, it's a green screen. The ground I'm walking on, it's a treadmill. Me? I'm not Mr. Beast.
I'm Chandler. Go get the new Mr. Beast box at Zaxby's. It has Feastables.
Welcome back to the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Legacy Construction, Residential and Commercial.
Yes, sir. Mr. Nate Cochran. I must say, now that we're in the 4th quarter, it's been a pleasure being in the booth with you tonight. As always, love calling games with you. Spencer Patterson is traveling tonight to be back next week at Randleman. You'll be back with your cohort, Chris DeLambert. Do you know where you'll be next week?
I do. It's in my trusty phone calendar. I should be back, pending anything wild and crazy happening. I should be Lee County High School at Panther Creek.
Panther Creek, a team in Wake County. I believe Panther Creek opened up about the same time that Southern Lee opened, around 2005, I believe is when that high school opened up, right there off of Highway 54 in Apex Cary area.
I can't tell those two areas apart anymore, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
They've merged together pretty much to where I don't know where the lines are.
Yep. They really have. So, again, back at quarterback starting the fourth quarter is number 11, Ian Hicks.
Are y'all here next week, or are you at Randleman?
We're at Randleman.
At Randleman. So you got a nice little haul next week.
Nice little haul.
Hand off to number 34. He's found his gap. In maybe 11-yard line, that'll be another Pinehurst Toyota first down, all the way down into the Vascular Institute of the Pines red zone.
Nice. Very nice. So we got a lot of players getting some playing time, which is exactly what you kind of expected tonight. You're going to get a lot of folks, second team chances out there, and it's good for them to get these reps. I must say, I've been pretty hard on this team the last couple of games because of their penalties. And I must say they've really cleaned it up tonight.
Tonight they are currently at 4, unless I missed 1 or 2. I might have missed 1 or 2.
I don't know, Nate. I think 4 is about right.
4 sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Tackle on the backfield, number 38.
Number 38 for Western Harnett on the tackle. Lyndon Smith, junior middle linebacker, coming through the hole and making a stop for a tackle for loss. Will bring up a 2nd and 12 here for the Vikings.
Oh, I know what I was going to ask you, Nate. Okay, so I was talking to my friend in New York today. We were having a business meeting, and he and I both are big football guys. He actually roots for the Jets and the Giants.
Okay.
So wait for this play. Tyler Thomas. Tyler Thomas in. And we're looking now at Cale John, hoping to go 17 of 17 on the season on his PATs. He is 1 for 1 on field goals, 35-yarder earlier in this contest. So we'll see what Cale John does. And after this kick, we are going to keep it right here because I do want to complete my thought. But first, Cale John.
Up. Kick is good. That makes it 17 for 17. Drop some knowledge on me, Don. Let's hear it.
So I was talking to my friend in New York, and he and I both football fans, and we were talking about the game last night, the Ravens and the Chiefs, and we were talking about how he and I both dislike night games. We don't like Thursday night games. We don't like Monday night games. We don't like Sunday night games. And the reason is because when you're watching them, you're getting all pumped up. It's a roller coaster. You're up and down, rooting for your team. Teams up, teams down. If they lose, you're all mad. You don't want to go to bed mad. If they win, you're all jacked up. You can't go to sleep because you're all jacked up. Your heart rate's up and all that good stuff. And the games don't end until about midnight or after midnight. Then you got to get up and go to work the next day. And it's just awful. So my question to you is this. Would you rather be on the East Coast and watch night games until midnight, or be on the West Coast and have to watch Sunday morning games at 10 a.m.?
So I have actually done both. I will say I have the luxury with my career that I get to travel all over the world, and I get to go do awesome, cool, amazing things, and I get to experience sporting events all over the country. And I will say I would much prefer the Sunday morning 10 a.m. kickoffs. I am a morning person, though. I am up every morning. If I make it to 6 a.m., it's a good morning for me. So, I would much rather do that. I'm not a night owl. The older I get, the more I want to go to bed by 9:30.
Chris, Nate, I'm right there with you. And I've called you Chris all night long, and for that I'm just going to profusely apologize. I don't know. My brain is just the way it's working right now. But I totally 100% agree with you, Nate. I believe that if it's a night game and the kickoff's at 8:30, you're looking at 5:30 if you're on the West Coast. Game's over by 9 o'clock, dude, and that's my bedtime, 9:30, 10 o'clock. So
yeah.
I would much rather – I'm with you. I'd much rather get up on a Sunday morning, have my coffee, sit there and watch a game. And then you got the 4:30 games. You're watching that at 1:30 in the afternoon on the West Coast. But being on the East Coast has its advantages outside of football, okay, for sure. But then you talk about basketball season. Oftentimes you'll have two Eastern schools – North Carolina versus South Carolina playing at 9 o'clock.
Tipping off at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And back when I was growing up, and I don't know if they still do this or not, I don't watch much basketball nowadays, but they used to do a Wednesday night ACC matchup, and I felt like every year Duke and Carolina was on a Wednesday night 9 p.m. matchup. And that was the absolute worst as a kid.
And they always call it prime time. What's prime about late night? What's prime? To me, prime is 7 p.m. What's prime about 9:30? There's nothing about that that's prime.
I want to eat a big steak. I want to sit down. I want to, fix my big Yeti cup full of water. And I want to watch the basketball at prime time. I don't want to wait till 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, I've already had.
9 o'clock, I'm asleep.
Yeah.
Or I'm getting sleepy. I don't want to get all. And the thing is, Nate, it's about getting jacked up. It's all right, now it's game time. Now you're all jacked up, and then you're expected to go to sleep at 12 o'clock. I got to wind down. Anyway, remind the folks at home, it's 45-0. What does that mean, and where are we at in the game?
We're having a running clock at this point. Clock has not stopped since the kickoff. We are at 8 minutes and counting down quickly. 2nd and 5 here for Western Harnett. That same little toss play that they've been liking, I guess is a shuttle pass. Is that a shuttle pass or a toss?
I'm going to call it a toss.
Is it a toss? Toss or a shuttle pass?
So I am preparing my player of the game on both sides of the ball, and going to have that ready for you folks at the at the Jen Ritchie Everything Pines post-game show coming up in about 8 minutes.
Should be exactly that, pending no
injuries.
Pending no injuries. Bring up 3rd and 2 here for the Eagles. I know Western Harnett fans at home would love to see some points on the board, make them feel a little bit better getting on the bus, getting out of here. From a broadcast standpoint, I sure wouldn't mind this running clock continuing and getting on home. As we talked earlier, our bedtimes are pretty relevant to each other, and sure wouldn't mind getting a good night rest before 7 a.m. and my 5-year-old comes screaming in my room looking to play.
Oh, don't miss those days. Do not miss those days. Now, you say your wake-up time's about, what, 6?
6.
Okay.
6. I like to get up. I do a little, a little bit of personal time in the morning. Get to spend a little bit of time in the Bible. Get a good cup of coffee in me, and then, usually right about that time, I'm walking into the bedroom from our master closet where I do my little quiet time, and here comes my son saying, "Dad, let's play," and he runs wide open until about 7:30.
That's great. Now, is he still in nap stage? Does he still do naps?
We do quiet times on the weekends. He's in kindergarten now, so he obviously doesn't have that in school. But during the weekends, usually we try to do a quiet time between about 12:30 and 2. Selfishly, I think I take more naps at that time than he does at this point. But we try to do a little bit of quiet time. But I'll be honest, pool season ended last weekend. We might have skipped quiet time and gone pooling the entire day, Saturdays and Mondays.
Where do you go pooling?
So we are members of a swim and racket club in Sanford named Westlake.
Because I was going to say, because the other group you're a part of was shut down.
Their pool is down this summer. So
what was the deal with that? They're going to salt? What happened with that?
No, so they had a retaining wall in the pump room that was failing. So they went to replace that retaining wall, and then 2 other retaining walls fell. And then the city got involved with environmental and all sorts of other red tape and paperwork, and a contractor's been fired, and it's a mess. But I've been guaranteed it'll be ready next summer, so, we will probably be splitting our pool time.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about something along those same lines here in the Sand Hills Athletic Conference. Lee County, talk to us a little about what the situation was for our fans at home that really weren't sure about what happened at Lee County on the home side. And do you know the history of the engineers that they got to sign off on it? And is there anything that you can share with that you feel free and comfortable to share?
So being
no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure here. Being in the construction consulting industry, those stadiums are both home and away side are old concrete structures that are reinforced with number 4 steel rebar that's tied every 12 to 16 inches. I don't know which one of those it is. And that concrete is inherently a porous material, so it does absorb and eventually retain water. It is a wet substance when it's poured. Everyone knows. Everyone's seen that before. And over time, this isn't a Lee County thing. This is a concrete thing, so let me make that perfectly clear. Concrete will retain water. we all know it's very rare that we get it nowadays, but we get freezes. And what happens when water freezes? Anyone who's put a Pepsi in the freezer before, what happens? Eventually it expands and it explodes, right? Yep. In the freezer, it's very dramatic because you then have to scrub your freezer to get all the sticky Pepsi out.
But you have a nice icy.
But you do have a nice icy. Well, in concrete, what happens when it expands, it starts to crumble. And so what was happening is, and if anyone who'd walked around that stadium for the years, you'd notice the big pillars in the back that held up the stadium, the load-bearing pillars, had columns, had started to deteriorate. Some of the stands had started to deteriorate. There were major cracks in them. And someone came in, an engineering firm came in, did an assessment, said that it was unsafe to be in, and it was condemned. Remember, that happened last football season because Lee County football ended up finishing up their season at Southern Lee High School. The away side stands have been deemed unfit, and the only repair path possible is total and complete demolition and reconstruction. We were there Friday night, and they had not been demolished yet, so they were still sitting there. No one was on there, rightfully so. It'd be too dangerous. After the third engineering firm from the Lee County School Board, the first two deemed the homestands unsafe and necessary for demolition. The third firm said that it was fixable with an injection, with a concrete injection. This is going to be a Western Harnett turnover, and Union Pines is going to get a hold of this ball. That's another turnover for Western Harnett. That makes 3 on the night. So a construction company came in and completed repairs on the home side of the Lee County stands, and they're currently in use.
Thank you very much.
Is that the analysis you were looking for?
Nate Cochran, I don't expect anything other than that exceptional analysis there by you. You know, I honestly think that if you had not chosen coaching or construction as your career, you should be an investigative reporter.
Oh, goodness.
Truly, I think you have multiple skill sets, my friend.
No.
Facts.
I'm a jack of a few trades and a master of none.
Oh, come on. Too hard on yourself.
Handoff for the Vikings, taken down the back foot by number 22 from Western Harnett, Trent Golsinski.
So Western Harnett is about, I don't know, what would you say, a 45-minute track from here? So,
yeah, give or take.
Yep, so got a little bit of a ways to go here. I don't know about Western. When they were at Southern last week or 2 weeks ago, did they have a band?
They did not.
I wonder if they have a band.
I do not know. I don't know a whole lot about Western Harnett anymore these days.
Yeah, and how long has it been since they were in it was the Tri-County 6, wasn't it?
It was the Tri-County 6. So when Southern Lee was made an inception in the Cape Fear Valley in 2005, they were in it all the way up until the Cape Fear Valley dissipated, turned into the Tri-County 6.
Tri-County 6.
And Western Harnett was still in that. When I was coaching, I never got to see the day of the SACS conference. And so, yeah, here we are. I'd love to see Western Harnett back. Football, basketball generally would not be as competitive as some of the Lee County schools, but Western Harnett always has really, really strong baseball and softball. Those are two storied programs that have always produced really, really good ball players. So I would like to see that from the competitive side of the spring sports.
Yep, as Jaden Street takes the carry here. That's going to do it for us, Nate. And so, folks, stay tuned. It is the final score is the final score.
Final score is 45-0. Union Pines Vikings with another shutout. That is 12 quarters in a row with no scores against this Viking defense.
Yep.
So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back for the Jen Ritchie Everything Pines postgame show. Make sure you stay tuned.
Jen Ritchie at Everything Pines is a trusted real estate professional with over a decade of experience. Jennifer showcases the Sand Hills with new construction neighborhoods in the Union Pines district. Passionate about representing quality new construction homes in proud neighborhoods full of Viking pride. The Reserve, Camp Easter Cottages, and Little River Run. For more information, visit everythingpinespartners.com. Everything Pines Realty presents the Postgame Show on the NFHS Network. Brought to you by New Image Media.
Welcome back to our Jen Ritchie Everything Pines post-game show. I'm Nathan Cochran, Don Clayton. Don, give us a quick recap, your players of your game. We're going to wrap this up, pack this baby up, head to the house. Give us a quick synopsis.
First, Mr. Nate Cochran, thank you again for putting up with my name calling throughout all 4 quarters tonight, my brain. But I will tell you, this is great. Union Pines has outscored their opponents so far in this 2024 contest, 122-0. That says a lot. I don't care who you're playing. I don't care what your competition is. If they line up on the field, that defense has been playing spectacular, and they almost gave it up tonight on about the 2-centimeter line, and they had an amazing 4th down stop, a turnover on downs, to keep the other teams scoreless. Next week will be at Randleman. But for tonight's game, I'm going to give my special teams player of the game to Cale John, who went 17 for 17 on the season. He tonight, I believe, was 5 for 5 on PATs, plus his very first field goal of the season, a 35-yarder, and to allow this Union Pines Vikings to just blow out Western Harnett Eagles. On offensive, I'm going to have to give it to backup quarterback Ryan Green. What a beautiful 40-yard pass.
All right.
As a backup, a beautiful 40-yard pass straight down the field for a touchdown, Ryan Green. And so that was a surprise. On the defensive side, I was going to give it to Harley Moyer. He could deserve it, but I'm going to give it to T.J. Robinson, the defensive lineman who made many open field tackles tonight and several tackles for loss. Nate, what you got?
So I'm defensive player. I completely agree, 100%. I thought he did a phenomenal job through the entire night. My offensive player goes to number 12, senior quarterback Anthony Goswick. He made every right decision tonight. He played a very good game. He kept the ball when he needed to. He threw the ball fairly well. He handed off the ball well. Overall, he commanded this offense. He was a senior leader tonight. Great game for Mr. Goswick. He's my offensive player of the game. Again, this is week 3. Yep. We've got 4 weeks of non-conference before we jump into the Southern Athletic Conference here. Big week coming up next week against Randleman for the Union Pines Vikings. Definitely looking to run into conference play going 4-0. And I'll be honest with you, Don, this 3A, I have now watched Southern Lee, I've watched Lee County, and I've watched Union Pines. I think this 3A run is going to be very, very tight. Scotland County, of course, is the front runner in that 3A division. But who's fighting for that wild card? Who knows? And could one of these steal one from Scotland? Who knows? You know, on any given night, it could happen. Friday nights are wild, wild nights. You never know. But very excited for Union Pines. I will say I've been covering Union Pines. I have been familiar with the program now since 2006. I played against Union Pines. I coached against Union Pines. I've commentated a good bit of their games over here since I've been in the broadcasting booth. This is probably the most electric most electric crowd we've seen, the most excitement around this program we've seen in many, many years. This is, and no slight to any coach previously, this is the best product on the field I have seen, the most complete package from Union Pines we've seen in many, many years. So I'm really, really excited to see what the Vikings do this year going into conference play.
I echo that 100%. I've been mentioning that to Spencer Patterson all year long, that these fans deserve it. This community deserves it. These upperclassmen deserve it. This band deserves it. Everybody in this community and at this school deserve the season thus far. It's a long way to go. Early September. But they're 3-0. They've outscored their opponents 122-0. Watch out for the Vikings because they're coming on strong. This has been the NFHS.
Hold on. Correct me if I'm wrong. For these senior players now, this is their 3rd coach in 4 years, correct?
And I was going to mention that as well.
Coach Lonnie Cox, then they had Jason Truesdale, and now Brian Till. And that's hard for anyone at home who's played sports. You understand how much chemistry comes along with a coach and how a coach can really mold and manipulate a program. These senior kids, you said it, and I 100% echo it, these senior kids deserve to have a great senior season. They've had a tough run, many coaches, many different program changes, athletic director changes. I could not be more excited for the senior class here at Union Pines.
Yeah, I totally agree with that 100%. You accidentally Freudian said senior citizen. Don't talk about me.
No.
Don't talk about me. This is about them, not about me.
Not about us.
This has been the NFHS Game of the Week. This is Nate Cochran. I'm Don Clayton. This game was brought to you by Legacy Construction, residential and commercial. Next week we'll be at Randleman. Make sure you stay tuned. That will be a contest. You mentioned it earlier. That's going to be a contest to pay a lot of attention to. We'll see if UP can keep it up and go undefeated next week for the regular season. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching the Game of the Week on the NFHS Network.